Hello, hello, hello. Um, hold on, I'm like all thrown off because I don't have my headphones right now, and I hate it. Um, because they're still charging. I think I can go get them maybe in a bit, but they are slow to charge, unfortunately. I was hoping I'd remembered like this morning sometime or in the afternoon, and get a few hours of charging in before stream, but I forgot until I went to start stream, and I saw my headphones and I was like, uh-oh. Especially because they're charging from zero, right? Normally I don't wear them down all the way. For some reason, this last bit of charging them just like went down really fast from like Thursday onward, and I don't know why. Sometimes they just do that, you know? Sometimes they just do that. But yeah. So anyway, um they were playing Blueprints. Luckily that is a game that I don't need um I don't think I really need audio for. Um, I don't think. So I can play it muted. Um, so hey Alex, welcome, welcome. But yeah, I'm just like super thrown off with no with no headphones. Um, but yeah, we'll play some blueprints and I think I should be able to mm, I actually hold on. I'm not even sure if I can uh oh yeah. I can't play the audio for stream for the game, unfortunately. I don't think because I have it just I guess I could try to add a new audio track, but it's just the desktop audio is what I use, but I usually set it through um my headphones. But I can't turn the speakers on, right? Because like it'll it'll pick up in the microphone. Um, and so I have my computer muted, but if I you know as long as it's muted, it's not going to play audio on stream unless it actually comes out of the speakers. And it if it does, then you'll hear it twice. So my bad. I'm sorry. So we'll do a no sound stream, no background sound stream for a bit here. Um, maybe for the first hour, and then we'll see if I mean maybe for even like just 45 minutes, and then maybe my headphones will have enough enough power in them to last maybe to the end of the stream. We'll see. We'll see. That's my mistake. I didn't really want to cancel stream because I don't like canceling streams because once you start, you're like, oh, I'll cancel this one. Oh, then I'll cancel the next. And it just becomes too easy to cancel all of them. And that's how you end up not streaming for a while. Um, and then you start getting flaky. So I don't like canceling. I like having my scheduled days and streaming on those scheduled days. But yeah. So we'll see stream for a bit. Not the best stream tonight, unfortunately. Again, headphones. I like my headphones. I like them. They help me hear things on the computer. Um, but anyway, yeah, and I was a little late because I had dinner. I was like doing stuff this afternoon, and then I had dinner, and then um I then got on Twitter and I realized Cinder posted and what she calls an apology, and I had to feel like I had to read that to be up on all the details, so that I don't come to stream and everyone's like, oh my gosh, did you read it? And then I'm like, no. So yeah, that was an important Google Doc to read, so I read it. And I'm kind of surprised how it made her look worse. I didn't like I knew it'd be hard for her to kind of fix things, right? And to come back from the situation she was in. But it made her look worse because it was still very manipulative, and the same sort of manipulations kind of that she's kind of in trouble for. So I was like, wow, just continuing on with those manipulations, which makes me think that honestly she doesn't realize she's doing it, right? I mean, I don't know her again, so from the perspective of someone who uh really did not see have not has not seen much of her on stream, like to only in like collabed with like a bunch of other people, and so like I really know nothing about her as a person. And that's just even, like that's just even her as a streamer. Obviously, I don't know her as a person. Um, all I really know her is, from all this information, this recent drama, but uh, I'm kind of thinking that maybe she's just that sort of person. Again, I understand that I have very limited perspective on this. But and people who know her better, who are, who involved in the situation and stuff, obviously, who, matter. But they know, I guess. But she just seems like a kind of manipulative person. Um, like I don't know, it just seems like people posting like, look how she's manipulated people, and you're like, yeah, I can see these discussions. They are look like they're coming from a nice, positive, friendly place, but you see kind of manipulative phrases in there, and and then the same thing is her apology was filled with manipulation. And it's like I kind of think she doesn't do that, and I'm wondering if she's just like that all the time. But then I don't know, why so many people are friends with her if she is so, you know, manipulative all the time. But 'cause a lot of times manipulations, right? They're not always coming from like a negative, sinister place. They're just coming from a place of um, trying to persuade people of things, right? Any sort of persuasion is manipulation. And so all manipulation isn't necessarily inherently bad, right? If you're like trying to get a friend to hang out with you and you say please, 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 it's like kind of manipulative too, right? But that's not necessarily bad. So, you know, it kind of depends. But yeah, I think she's it feels like that's just how she is and how she communicates. And I don't think she knows she's doing it. Or else it would have been really dumb to continue the same manipulative strategies in her apology that she's getting called out for. So I think, I think she just doesn't even mean to do it, which doesn't mean it's still not manipulative, right? It's just I think that's just who she is, maybe. But yep, more drama. But yeah, so you just got here. Yeah, I was just saying her apology made her look worse. I was surprised. Also, I'm just stalling because my headphones are charging. Yeah, no, the apology was bad. One, it wasn't really an apology. And it was filled with manipulation. The same manipulation she's getting called out for. So, like, I think that's just maybe again, I know nothing about her really beyond this drama, but like I'm kind of like, is this, the question at least stems to my mind is like, is this how she just talks? Like, is she just a manipulative person? Um, kind of like, because I honestly, it doesn't look like she knows she's doing it with a lot of the things she says, that are manipulative. I don't think she knows that they are. So, and I know she doesn't mean for them to be, but she also means to convince people of things. So like deflection, she was guilt trip someone, not manipulation. Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, there are some phrases and things, I forget what some of them were, but there are some phrases that were just like, just a little bit manipulative in like the just the structure of her defense as well, like saying that how much she's really liked working with Nano, and I really thought Nano wanted to work on my projects. Hmm. Like, yes, she did. She did. Don't. It's the exact. It's like that's the one screenshot I saw, from the DMs. Like, like one of the only ones I saw. And it's like, that's the same exact thing that you did in your conversation with her. I really thought you wanted to work on my projects too, but if you don't, that's okay. Like, that's the fact she's still doing that. She's still saying that. I knew she was gonna blame her boyfriend, then actually doing it. Yeah, yeah. Well, and also, I liked towards the end, she said that, uh, her friendships she's made in the VTuber space matter and artist communities matter so much to her, more than her relationship with, with Red. And it's just kind of like, oh, so now you're just gonna say that your friendships matter more to you, way more than your stupid boyfriend of 5 years. Like, like I don't know if like you're gonna like counter the accusations of you being a disloyal friend by saying, "No, my friends matter to me. They matter way more than my long-term boyfriend." Like, "Oh, okay, so you're just not a loyal partner. Is that the issue?" Like, I I don't know. It's just it's no, yeah. Oh yeah, no, she never said I don't think she ever said they broke up. Um, so yeah, like that's the thing is she's like, "We're gonna work through our relationship problems." And that's what's so like not only did she cheat on him and manage to make through it, but also like the fact now that she's like throwing him under the bus like this and then also just outright saying that her friendships matter way more to her than her boyfriend. And it's like, okay. I mean, honestly, if she like he should break up with her. Like this is not a good relationship for many reasons, but yeah, she said it's private, which is fair, but the relationship got her. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I don't know. The fact that yeah, I don't like that she even compared. Like she's like, "Oh, but my friendships here matter way more than my friendships with him, my relationship with him." And it's like I don't know that that's a good answer to saying that you're a disloyal friend. Like just throwing your boyfriend under the bus like that. I don't think that proves that how loyal you are. Like I don't know. And it's just like yeah, yeah. Yeah, and she said her boyfriend manipulated her. And I mean, I don't know. It's what the relationship is and maybe she's realizing that maybe it is a bad relationship. That's possible. But it does feel like a lot of deflection in the way she's saying it. Um rather than there doesn't seem to be uh a lot of accountability from that angle. Um I thought the like I don't know, the kind of like reading somehow her description of what happened with Silvervale sounds so much worse than Silvervale's version of it. That was what got me. She's like, I didn't mean to screw over everyone else. I only thought I was screwing over Silvervale. It's like, okay. Um, and I don't know what happened. Wait, what? For the Silvervale stuff? Um, I don't even know entirely. But like she just kind of like seemed like very jealous of with the double post. Oh, didn't even notice that. Didn't even notice that. Okay. Um didn't even notice. But yeah, like I don't know, like she the obsession with like mm, branding I thought was interesting. Um especially because like I'm just gonna say um like Cinder is always kind of interesting to me because I had a character in like a novel I was working on back in like 2016, 2017. Um not like a major character of the book, but like a kind of side character. Because it was about like graffiti writers and stuff. Because I'm like, really into graffiti art. And one of the characters was named Cinder with an S, right? That was like their graffiti name. Um, so like seeing someone who, when I first saw them, I'm like, oh, that's the name of my character from the book. I guess my idea is not as original. I mean, I'm like, I know it's not a very super clever original idea anyway, so like it's fine. But I'm like, okay. But then seeing someone like that, then so obsessed with originality and branding and kind of like being very territorial over it is just kind of to me ironic from like my own perspective, right? Like I'm like, wow, the, the like I was I was using that name for a character first, and now you're like, oh, who did what first, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, I had that name first, so if we're gonna start, we're gonna start that. But I'm sure other people used it too. It's not like that unique. Which is why I wasn't that surprised when I see someone, use the name. But I'm just kind of like, okay, just just saying. Um, but but yeah, lost my mind over the Greek Valkyrie part. That that's a whole separate issue. That honestly a lot of people have, but like some of it was lies no proof. And she said she developed the Hellhound thing, and she thought at first. Yeah, well, I mean, and also it's just like it's just a Hellhound. It's not that like that's not a super unique concept in and of itself. Um, so like I don't know. Like um so what if there's another Hellhound? It's like there are Hellhounds in all sorts of media. Um, and like there are a lot of mythic style VTubers and stuff um and I thought it was interesting that and now I'm saying this like again kind of from the perspective of someone who, does work with ancient cultures professionally and mythology and stuff and ancient religions and magic systems and things like that professionally. Um, like she said that she didn't want any sort of, religious connotations or connections in her branding. But like she is basing off of like this hell demon type of aesthetic, which is religious. Now it is like transgressive in the religious space to, kind of take on that identity, sure. So it's kind of like counter-religious, but it is still religious regardless. Um, and uh and especially the idea of like sin, like that's a very religious concept as well. Uh like even like a demon I would say is like, well, a demon that's very broad. You just finished Indiana Jones and it deals with that. Yeah, yeah. It's just like um yeah, the like so like a demon type of idea or like a demonic dog, right? That's like okay, I'm not gonna say that's specific to Christianity because first off, hellhounds aren't really like a Christian thing per se. Um and demons are not super metal itself is anti-Christian protest. Yeah, yeah. Um but like um and demons aren't necessarily Christian, right? In theory the way demons are portrayed is not biblical like in any way anyway. And also there are plenty of other cultures that have like demon like things. So the demonic aspect is fine, but taking the name Cinder and kind of making a pun on sin with that, now that's a little bit different because like the idea of sin is not something that actually exists in many religions, right? Like it's pretty exclusive to the Abrahamic religions in the way the idea of sin is seen. Um and obviously like in other religions they have the idea of like just doing bad things, but the idea of sin is uniquely Abrahamic. Um and so that in itself it's like, well, I don't want to, religious connections. And it's like, you're already kind of dancing the religious angle there. And then, she said she wanted an angel concept, but she didn't want to be religious. It's like, okay, well, you're already dealing with religion, but fine. And also, angels are not inherently Christian either because again, the like, biblically accurate angels, everyone knows that sort of stuff. Like they're not like unless she was going for a biblically accurate angel design, which I doubt that was the case. That'd be crazy though, compared to her other models that she's like, I'm doing an angel design, and she comes out with like a big a big what you know 100-eyed winged thing. Yeah. And that's just one of them. There are like others that are even like just as not weirder, but just as weird, right? Like so it's like that would be really funny. No one would expect that for the next Cinder model. But regardless, you're not afraid. Yeah. Um terrifying. But but yeah, but like with with that, like um fine, but then she's like, but I wasn't going for a biblical angel anyway. I was gonna go for a Greek Valkyrie. I'm like, that is such a freaking insulting thing, which like, I don't know, a lot of there's like kind of a lot of this, and it's kind of interesting that there are um again from perspective of someone who, deals with history and stuff, I don't think things are always correct, though I know culturally it's like a little bit different. But like for instance, for me, if I had a VTuber that was like Japanese themed, I would be torn apart for that, right? Because I am white. So I can't, have a Japanese themed VTuber. And now there are Asian VTubers who have Japanese themed models and stuff and characters and stuff like that. And that's okay, or at least I mean I can't really speak on that, but culturally it's considered okay, because it's kind of like the same, they deal with the same prejudices and stuff like that. Even if they are Chinese or whatever, or Korean, and they have a Japanese theme or something, like who are Thai or whatever, and then they have a Japanese character or themed character elements, and aesthetic and stuff like that. Because they deal with the same um the same deals and stuff. Like Hololive uses names from all. Yeah, that's true. From all over. Yeah, and I mean, well, that's the thing is like, there are a lot of VTubers who will then pull like some Greek themes, right? There are quite a few, that pull Greek themes, and or Greek and Roman, though mostly Greek, um, and no one ever cares about that, right? And the reason is because Greek and Roman are white, so you are allowed to take from white culture. However, that's not, ancient cultures aren't the same as the modern cultures, and those ancient peoples, like the ancient Greeks, didn't really conquer anyone. Um, and like Alexander the Great did, but he was Macedonian, he wasn't Greek. The Macedonians had already conquered Greece at that point in time. The Greeks conquered other Greeks. Um, but there wasn't really any sort of like, time, and certainly now it's not like, oh yeah, well, the Greeks, they suppress other people, like Greece is poor. Greece is so poor. And they are not particularly highly regarded within Europe, and so like I wouldn't really say that they're in a position of power currently. And in ancient times, certain, and that's even, if you're comparing like, oh well, Greek people now, so we're going to use their historical culture, but they aren't in power really now, and in history they weren't. So you're like, just because the culture is popular and modern people who are not of Greek culture has already, like the founding fathers of the United States have already appropriated it, doesn't mean like everyone else can appropriate it. It gets crazy when it gets to Carth. There's also black people there, and in, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a lot, a pretty different situation in power positions. Yeah, um it's a little bit different, because the native North Africans aren't black, so there aren't really quite as many black people. They're African, but they're not black, just like Egyptians are African but not black. Um, so like I don't know, that gets a little bit there weren't all that many black people, but um I mean, even today people don't consider native North Africans to be black. So just not everyone in Africa is black is the moral of the story. Um but they're African, but they're not black. They're more Mediterranean, just like Italians and Greeks and Spanish. Um, and like, and that's how it was around in the ancient world too. Like they viewed um, the Mediterranean Sea as a sort of rallying point with people around it, as opposed to a dividing point, dividing continents. Um, we just sort of chop it up differently. But yeah, but like people, and there are some, I mean there are a lot of people who take Greek culture and they're like, yeah, I can say whatever I want about it because they're white. And they're like, I can take these characters and make them be black, because it's okay to take white people and recast them as black. Um, because white people have been forcing their culture on other people, but like the Greeks didn't. And you can't just assume that, well, yeah, well, Greek culture is white culture. That's not the case at all. And like ancient Greek culture is even different than even modern Greek culture. And the ancient Greek peoples aren't really the same as white people today. And it's really inappropriate to do to the ancient Greeks, is all I'm gonna say. Found a priestess in a temple who was just straight black. Yeah, I mean there were some, but it's not very common. Um, it wouldn't have been very common. But uh European culture, like the Hundred Years' War, yeah. Yeah, it's like hard to say just like Europe. I mean, because saying European culture is essentially the same thing as saying Asian culture, like there are different cultures within it. It's not one solid thing. And even then, like the cultures are different um over time. And like modern Greek culture is not the same thing as ancient Greek culture, though modern Greek people will tell you different. They like to think it's the same culture, but it's not. It's not. The Brits that don't consider Irish and Scottish white, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of people who like separate, yeah, separate out, um, and have prejudices and all of that, like among themselves even. But yeah, and I like I can't speak for everything, but anyway, but it made me really mad when Cinder was like, "Oh, a Greek Valkyrie, the Greek Valkyrie," because like a Greek Valkyrie is like okay, it's just Valkyries aren't Greek, and it's really really insulting to both Greek and Norse cultures to say like, oh, Greek, Norse, whatever, it's the same thing. And it's like, wow, you were gonna make it a Greek Valkyrie, so you were just not going to do any research whatsoever on these ancient cultures you are appropriating for your VTuber model. Like, and I don't know about, Cinder's cultural heritage, but for the most part, like you are kind of appropriating these ancient cultures because even if you're descended from them, um like like you if someone is like descended from like the Danish and wants to claim Norse culture, if someone's descended from if someone's Greek and they want to claim ancient Greek culture, again, it's not really the same culture, right? It's different. um and although like you might be descended from that culture, it's still different cultures, and you're still kind of like taking from people of the past and using it in ways that might not be comfortable for them. And not to say that like, we shouldn't have like ancient Greek themed models and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know, a lot of times people, take without learning anything about it. And, creating a like Valkyrie and saying that it's Greek because, well, Greek culture, and it's like, wow, you just it just is baffling to me. Like it's not hard to do basic research to at least know, it's kind of like being like I don't know, like um saying you wanted to, do like you wanted I want to this is not real. I'm not being racist. Please don't don't clip it out of context. But it's just like saying like if you wanted to make, oh yeah, I want to make an ancient Cambodian kung fu samurai, right? And it's like that okay. Yeah, like the Cambodian kung fu samurai that existed. And it'd be like, okay, that's um I don't know about that. The same thing as like saying like an ancient Greek Valkyrie, like they aren't, that's just you're just blending cultures without even realizing. So I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the Saxons call all Vikings Danes even though they're from Norway. mm, I mean, I am not sure exactly like what the actual terms would have been used even in those times for different peoples because they were like related. So I don't know even the like what it would have been. But that's at least like they're closer, like at that point it's just political boundaries between sort of like similar cultures. Um but uh because they're the same like group, cultural group at least. Greek and Norse though are pretty distinct. Um And if you're going to say that Greece and Norse are the same, then you might as well say that Indian culture is the same as well because it's also Indo-European, right? Like, um, it's just like way too they're way too different. And I don't know, like seeing like, oh, I wasn't gonna make it an angel. I was gonna, and it's like, oh, okay. So instead of an angel, you were going to do something similar. It wasn't gonna be like a biblical angel. It was going to be as though it's still an angel. She's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do the angel. I'm not gonna style my angel like a biblical angel. I'm gonna make my angel more like a Greek Valkyrie. And it's like, what? What? Especially because the angels you can kind of say are Greek because the New Testament is written in Greek, right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm not going to do biblical stuff. It's going to be Greek. Okay, like the Bible's not. It's just, I don't know. It just that really got me in particular. Like, wow, you just really threw a lot of cultural insensitivity in the middle of this quote unquote apology, didn't you? Like, what? Why are we? Why are why? I'm like, I feel like shots are being thrown in place. Like, I don't know, ancient Greeks, ancient Norse catching strays or something. Like, what is going on? Why? Why? Where did this come from? I was like, I can't believe. Absolutely insane. Um, and like, it I don't know, like on top of everything, I was like, I can't believe I'm reading this. Um, but uh, but yeah, that and I know a lot of YouTubers do it too, and I guess I'm really, really picky sometimes about things because like, I'm picky about how people use ancient cultures and stuff like that. Very, very picky because I don't, like not everyone like I've talked about this before with a lot of neo-pagans in whichever pagan religion they choose to take part, or sometimes they combine all of them, whatever. And they kind of take on these ancient cultures and ancient beliefs and without much study into them and claim them and shield themselves from critique by saying it's their religious belief. And obviously, they speak to these gods, so obviously they know what's true and I don't because I haven't spoken to Aphrodite. So like, how do I know what Aphrodite actually thinks? It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't even believe in Aphrodite. How dare I, insult their religion and doubt that they have spoken to her? It's like, okay, I like, or they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm, from this culture. I'm descended from this culture. You aren't, so what can you say on it?" And it's like, "Okay, I know you don't know more than me, but, they're gonna say they do anyway because it's ingrained in their DNA or something, even though that's not how DNA works." But, um, like, yeah, so I'm really picky a lot of times about media that uses ancient cultures and things like that. So a lot of movies that come out, I usually like I know that new Odyssey movie coming out. Not really into it. It might be good, but I'm really, really hesitant about ancient themed things. Percy Jackson, also not a big fan of Percy Jackson. Um, because like I see how it's fun. It takes the material and spins it in fun ways, and I get it. But sometimes it's just hard to see. And like things don't feel like um mm, it's just like the way people handle things. They don't really handle things very carefully, but um and like oh man, like uh let's see other things. Oh yeah, the Odyssey. I'm very reluctant and hesitant about how they are going to handle the Odyssey, the book, for the movie. But I do think you should all pass now. Well, not the whole past, but like yeah, I've taught like world history before, so in school. Um, but like I was a TA and I taught classes in it and such, and instructing. Um, uh, but yeah, I just like I don't know. Sometimes like if people, but I have my like, ancient cultures is my specialty, and um, and not all ancient cultures, but I know sometimes I know enough about things to know when people aren't doing things correctly. Um, and uh, especially people who are like, oh, I've read about ancient Greek gods and goddesses from this magic book. I know more about the ancient Greek gods and goddesses than that person does. So gonna be all style over substance with the Odyssey. Um, I mean, yeah, and it kind of depends. Like again, it has to. It's very tricky for how people handle this sort of stuff. Um, and mm, like, I was kind of like it's hard to kind of say, but like Epic the musical, for instance, also is a take on the Odyssey, and I actually really like their take on the Odyssey. I do not like the way the fans interpret it, of course, because they didn't they're not coming from it from the same like level of nuance and thought um that Jorge is, but the creator, but Jorge Herons Rivera, is that his name? Um but I think he's going by Jorge. Originally it was Jay. They changed the name he uses. But anyway, but like he handles it very well. With like showing the themes and like bringing them out and like adapting the story well for because like I'm not a huge fan of like ancient epics just because like our brains usually don't work with that sort of media. It can be very dry, and kind of feel like it's sort of lacking a little bit in a way. Um, and because it's almost written like um, mm, its content is very like geared towards like shonen, but kind of more like a shonen anime or manga, but the writing is like, you know, uh like a textbook. And cuz it's just very straightforward kind of describing events, but they're trying to describe really cool events. And but then there's also a layer of like deeper social stuff going on and emotional stuff going on that is kind of like overlooked, I think even by the Odyssey. So although I don't think that like Epic the Musical is a great adaptation necessarily of the Odyssey itself, I think it's a great adaptation of the story of the Odyssey. Oppenheimer was done as how the Odyssey will be done, knowing Christopher Nolan. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Christopher Nolan films, and I didn't see Oppenheimer, so I can't really speak on that. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. The casting is I'm a little iffy about the casting, but the Greek story about a boat going to the moon was made to make fun of other Greek odysseys. Yeah, there's a satire. It's by Lucian. Um, and I translated that one before. Um, I read it in Greek. And yeah, yeah, it existed. And yeah, I mean like, cause like it's I mean yeah, there are other Odysseys. There's the Aeneid. There's the Argonautica. Um, and like it's just a theme. Um, and like that's fine. Um, nothing wrong with nothing wrong with that. But like uh mm, I don't know. It's just like yeah, it's a return journey or just a journey, boat journey, but yeah, we were making fun of other people's stories. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean there's been satire. Oops, I don't know why my tracking messed up, but there's been satire for like, a really long time, of course. And comedy has existed, and comedy, is based off of making fun of other stuff, essentially. Um, but um, but yeah, but I don't know. I'm like, kind of reluctant to not reluctant is the right word, but hesitant about adaptations basically. And so going back to the same thing, like with like VTubers and stuff, when they're like, oh, I'm going to adapt this thing, and I just like I don't know, I just doubt that they actually, have much knowledge about the thing that they're actually adapting. If they're going to play, an ancient character, right? There are all those uh VTubers that are like ancient Greek gods but gender swapped, right? That whole thing from whatever agency that is. Um and like that's cool. I'm just not sure how many of them um how much they actually know about the god or goddess that they are portraying. And honestly, gender swapping some of them is kind of weird, or you're stepping into kind of weird territory with um like because like especially some of the goddesses, right, are it's kind of important that they be women. And kind of taking that away from them is a little bit disrespectful to them because they're sort of proudly women, holding their power. And like gender swapping Juno or Artemis is, or sorry, Hera or Artemis is like, or even like Athena is, I don't know, I wouldn't. I mean, people do all the time, but like just as a complete gender swap, I think it's like unless you're bringing knowledgeable nuance into it and really understanding what you're doing, I wouldn't, right? Um, but I don't know, actually, I didn't really think about, it, but like maybe not, maybe it's fine. But I don't know. I just like if, and I don't know how many of them these people are Greek. I don't think they're Greek. So like, it's kind of like if you're going to take someone else's culture and use it, I don't know. I just think there needs to be a lot of nuance involved, especially even if you're taking a white culture, because it can't go the reverse, right? Someone who's white can't take culture from other people. Um, and but other people can take these white cultures. Um, but I think if they do, they still need to do so respectfully, and respectfully means knowing about it. So if Cinder, for instance, is going to be like a Valkyrie, saying it's a Greek Valkyrie is really disrespectful, like, and honestly, anyone taking from an ancient culture, that's a different culture that's not theirs, I think. Um, like, so even white people shouldn't, like, I can't just take ancient Greek culture and, decide to make it, to be a Greek Valkyrie. It's insane. It's so disrespectful. Um, and I don't know, it just got me, man. I'm just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And just so many people do it, and so many people think it's okay to, do whatever they want with ancient cultures, especially Greece and Rome. But also to a certain degree, Egypt and the Middle East. And those cultures in particular kind of get thrown all over the place. Greece and Rome, and I guess Norse cultures as well, and Celtic culture gets appropriated like crazy. And and like that's fine. Again, like there's appreciation and appropriation, but it's hard to say appreciation if you really don't really understand much about the culture. Um, and really, only know about it from like children's picture books. Like that's not knowing about the culture. Uh, because like you can know about tons of modern cultures from picture books for children, and it doesn't mean it's accurate. Um, or or knowing enough, basically, and like it's kind of just frustrating that the lack of respect to people because it's like, well, their descendants are these other people, like Celtic people, their descendants are British people, and British people made an empire. And it's like, well, yeah, but like the Celts were also conquered by, you know, by the Saxons and by the Romans and by the French. And, so like, are they really the people who created the empire? Like, it's just, I don't know. It gets so tricky when you look at history. You can't just label everyone from one location or everyone of one race to be the same cultural group. It's just insane. You really can't do that. But people do. They do, right? Like they do. And they'll be like, sure, someone who's Austrian can decide to do whatever they want, you know, with Celtic culture because they're white and it's a white culture. So white people and white people, that's fine. Well, I guess everyone can do whatever they want with white culture. And, and so it's just, I don't know, it's just a little bit frustrating, but, um, whatever. And it just kind of like it just annoyed me to see it in Cinder's thing. I was like, no, not this. Not this. You don't gotta bring this into it. There's plenty of reasons to not be thrilled with this document. You didn't have to throw in Greek Valkyrie in there. You really didn't. Um in place of an angel instead of a biblical angel, she's going more for a Greek Valkyrie angel. I'm losing my freaking mind. I can't. Anyway, um, yeah, so I think I've stalled enough. Let me see if my headphones can at least last us through the rest of the stream. Hold on. I'm gonna take a drink and then hold on. Well, actually, I might as well I'll disappear for a second. Where's my model? Hold on. Hold on. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. I'd be right here. Be right back. Be right back. There we go. Okay. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. And is crazy, but for some reason, um uh-oh. I didn't even okay, hold on, hold on. Hold on. More issues here. Today I'm a mess. I knew having not having my headphones was gonna throw me off. Okay, so I didn't start up the game, so stream might crash. Oh no. But it might not, because I don't know. I think maybe with this model it might not. So we'll see. But I forgot to start up the game before stream. So let's see. But my headphones, luckily, um, amazing miracle, had them charging for like an hour, and they charged to like 90%, which is I have never seen them charge that fast before. So that's insane as well. Uh, Kind of cool. So I don't have to remember to charge them tonight. Is what we're getting from this. Okay, now we're into blueprints. Um, need to turn the volume up. Um, okay. And then I think we're good. Move over here. Oh, I don't have the game. Right. Right. Game. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. Continue. Day 15. Okay. Let's just go. Headphones are all good. I'm so surprised they charged it 90%. That's like really amazing, actually. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I guess. Okay, sure. All right. Man, it's crazy that my foundation is all the way back here. Watching other people's playthroughs, like their foundation is like farther down. Mine is super far back, which might benefit us in the long run, like eventually. Oh, right. We have our outer room. Good thing I remembered. We have to do that. Let's get our allowance first off. I want more allowance. I don't know how to get more allowance, but I want more allowance. Um, and we had 20 extra steps for some reason because we did something the previous day that was good. Oh, I don't even have my Google, my not my Google, my notes, my notepad up. Notepad. Okay, here we go. Right, we learned a lot last time, right? We read some letters and things. Oh yeah, we have one of these red letters. Um, Here. So I think that's actually one of the 8 safes. And so, because I realized I was thinking, or I was watching someone else's stream, and like I saw a different thing. And I realized because I actually did get something that was a little bit spoiler to a puzzle, so my bad. I'll show you when we do it. Um, but uh, I think they had people from their chat telling them, so I feel less bad because like they didn't figure it out on their own either. So like um, apparently is one of the things with this game. No playthrough is the same. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, usually I can watch other people's streams and like not be spoiled by anything because like, or I'm only spoiled by enough. Like I'm like, oh, this I think is one of the 8 safes. Like we figured out the like 8 safes thing, and I'm like, okay, so this little red arrow or red envelope is like from that we got from the safe in the shelter in the outer room. That's one of the 8 safes, right? And it said 8 dates, something 8 safes, something, wherever that was, and we figured that out. Yeah, the safes, office study. Oh, I need to put this one too as one in the shelter. I'm pretty sure this counts. I didn't think it counted as one of the safes because it looked a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure it is one because I saw this from another. I know what date cracks the safe in. Where did my list go? Here. In the boudoir. I know the date for that one, so we can open that one now. And and that I got from someone else's stream, and chat told her, so like, I feel less bad about it. But like, and honestly, it's just a small little thing. But it did confirm to me that the dates are not like all of these dates that we see necessarily like in the uh in the house. It just is a date. That is the answer. So for count small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. Yeah, I still don't know what the small gates are. I might be wrong about that part because that doesn't sound right, but 8 dates, crack 8 safes. That part is pretty clear. Um, and like yeah, so the date outside in the shelter, we got out there, we put it, and like we had to schedule a time and date for that safe to open, right? And we said like, okay, we want it the same day after 1 o'clock, or it had to be after like 2 hours later or something like that than the time it was, or 1 hour later. But we had to put the current date in there. And so that's kind of like how the current date cracked the safe, right? So it makes sense that that's one of the 8 because that was a date. We kind of did crack that safe by using a date. We put in the date that we wanted it to open on. So then I realized that that probably counts once I realized that the boudoir is not one of the dates like explicitly listed in the house per se. So like, that like 12/13 or date, or 13/12, whatever it was. Um, they're not all those sorts of dates, or like all of the dates like 1986 and 1987, the dates like to do with the, all this Mary and Marigold drama and stuff like that. It's like a little bit it doesn't have to be one of those dates explicitly mentioned. So uh, that was fun. Learned that. And so that made sense that this, because I was kind of confused. I was like, but it's not like, it doesn't look like the other safes. But I think it is because we still used a date to crack it. So it still counts. And that's why we got one of the red letters. But yeah. So anyway, let's go out here to this room. Birds. That felt significant. Okay. Special floor plans now cost additional steps instead of gems. Don't like that. Items for trade. Uh, as a, what? Let's start with the classrooms. Why not? Why not? That's like a horror game I've never played is the classrooms. That just reminds me of that. Here's a little furnace in the middle of the room. Herbie. That's Herbert. Is this where he went to school as a wee lad? Why is this lantern lit? Like this. It's kind of spooky. I get behind it? No. Chalk. Can I take chalk? No. Wait a minute. There's within a timely manner. All right, let's add that to our notes. Day 15. Schoolhouse. Blackboard reads within a timely manner. So this is talking about the house, I'm assuming. A timely manner. What does that mean? It has a lot of clocks? Is that like the end of the day where you can add a lot of clocks to the house? Closing address. For the last 38 years, it has been my pleasure of serving as your schoolmaster in this humble little facility. And meager as it may look by modern standards, I think most of us who spent our afternoons here will readily admit that we are reluctant to see this small piece of Reddington history go. I first wish to thank Lady Epson, our most gracious host today, for not only paying attention in my classes those many years ago, but for all the fundraising she has done on behalf of our community and our children. Okay, he's been serving for 38 years, and she was in his classes. So, I mean, I guess she's just not just like not a really old lady, basically, is all we know. She's like oldest in her 40s, maybe. Okay. But for all the fundraising she has done on behalf of her community and our children. Without her, Reddington Elementary would still be a distant and blurry vision, a vision that I dared not even dream. That dreamer is, of course, the incomparable Mrs. Peterson, our future principal, and my reluctant successor, who I might add, forced me to give this speech, so I think I'll end my praise of her here, though she deserves much more, I'll admit. Um, hmm. I don't know why that made me think of something, but I don't know what it made me think of. It kind of reminded me of something, but I don't remember what. Uh, okay. To the architect of our new school, the Baron Sinclair, thank you for following in your father's footsteps and building Reddington yet another school, and for also allowing the use of your own private residence and floor plans to serve as our interim facility until the new campus is completed in March. A decision I'm certain he will immediately regret tomorrow morning when he hears the children running through his halls. And lastly, I wish to thank all my students, many of you here today, whom I have not seen in years, whose faces I still remember as young and manners wild. Whose faces I still remember as young and manners wild. Those here whose parents before them I have also taught, and whose children I may yet. Without you, I would have had a lifetime of quiet peace. And yet, what is all the peace in the world if you have no one to bestow demerits upon? Thank you all sincerely. My time here has meant the world to me, and if I am still standing in 8 months, I will see you all at the slightly less melancholic ribbon-cutting ceremony next year. Better joke to end? Question mark. Yeah, the dying part is like a little, maybe not the best joke. Remember to give Mrs. Peterson her gift. Okay. Let's go ahead and screenshot this. Just in case. I honestly don't know that we learned a lot, except for like the lore of why there are classrooms in the house. In the floor plans pool. Right? Because this was the interim school when they were building the new school over, basically. Oh. What have we done? A blue flame. Okay, where even was that? What was that and where was that? What, excuse me? Okay, I mean, we probably don't want to undo it. We probably wanted that to happen. Some of these boards have designs on them. What's up with that? No, they don't have designs. Wait. No, they're just missing boards, and the design is in the roof? What? Okay. I think there's nothing left here to explore. I think we can leave. But, you know, we can also just place it on another day in future. Wow, I just got a whiff of a weird smell. Not a bad one. I'm just like, I don't know where it came from. Okay, let's start with our rooms. Going to the library first off. Yeah, I guess so. Weird, but all right. Oh, we have 4 gems today. That's nice. I can't even kind of taste that weird smell. Where is it coming from? A ghost smell, I guess. It's kind of sweet smelling. Okay, pump system user manual. Let's go. EPCW pump system user manual. Pool series 8. Okay. Checked out by March 18th, 87, was Jean Ribbon. March 26th, 87, Paul Withers. I don't recognize these names. November 21st, 93. Me, Simon P. Jones. Okay. It's November 21st. Good to remember. I should put the date after. Just in case. Okay. Look at our pump manual. Water level indicators, source labels, selection buttons. Yeah. Water control panel. Whether you're using a single tank system or an array of pumps, the water control panel serves as a central hub to your EPCW system. What does EPCW mean? The panel. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so dry all of a sudden too. Yeah. The panel is fitted with a number of buttons to equal to your own home's needs. One button for each different water source on the estate. The function is simple. Press a button to select the water source you would like to adjust. For example, if you wish to drain or fill your pool, simply press the button labeled pool. Regardless of the number of pumps or water sources being used, water can only be adjusted from a source if its corresponding button is selected. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Two tank. Okay. Connected to more than one tank, yeah. I mean, this isn't telling me anything that I didn't already know from going into the pump room. Yeah, okay. Is that it? Oh, this was like a really boring book. Wow. Okay. But you know what? We checked it out, and that's, I feel, important. I really just don't like how that book is empty. Or how this book is empty. It doesn't feel right. Okay. Bookshop. Let's go to the bookshop. I've never been to the bookshop. This is a new one. Oh my goodness. The bookshop. It has a black chess piece. A black bishop. For what that's worth. Bookshop. Get the books. A new clue sold out in hours, Reddington Herald. It should come as no surprise that the latest book from local author Marion Marigold is breaking literary records and making headlines even in absentia. The release of her new book, A New Clue, comes only 4 months after the distressful report of the author's mysterious and unexplained disappearance. Her current publisher has issued a statement debunking the conspiracy theories surrounding the book's recent announcement, stating, "The writing of the book was completed and well into the editing stages many months before the disappearance." In addition, the publisher has revealed that all of the proceeds from first edition sales of A New Clue will be going to Lasting Hope, a nonprofit organization that aims to provide resources and intel in the investigations of missing persons. Still, the timing and conveniently mysterious title of Marigold's third book has left many cynics denouncing the book and her disappearance as a cheap publicity stunt. Detective Bon Margol, who many theorize may have been the inspiration for A New Clue, was quoted only saying that the book was unintentionally accurate. Okay. Regardless of their opinions, fans, pundits, and cynics alike were standing together elbow to elbow in bookstore queues this morning, eager to get their hands on what may very likely be the last words ever published by the missing author. Okay. So, article framed on wall. Hey Trunk Monkey, how's Blueprints? We only have been playing for like 20 minutes so far today. So we read the pump system user manual, and we got the schoolhouse outside. That's about it. Because I forgot to charge my headphones, so we had to stall for them to charge. New clue sold out in hours. About Marion's third book, A New Clue, which released after her disappearance, publisher says was already along. Um, well before her disappearance. Um, all proceeds go to charity, for helping find missing people. Detective Bon Margol, whom people theorize was inspiration for the book, says the book was unintentionally accurate. What does that even mean? Why would they think he's inspiration? Is it like is he involved in our case? Um, hmm. But the timing and title of the book are suspicious, basically. Okay. Good to know. Can I buy the book here at the bookstore? Let's go see what they have for sale. I don't have any money on me. We can buy a new clue. Oh my gosh, but we need 50 coins. Who does this game think I am? History of Orindia? The Curse of Blackbridge? Realm and Rune? Drafting Strategy Volume 4 and Drafting Strategy Volume 5. Those are more in our price range. So let's try to save up money and get them. Okay. It's a shame we're blocking ourselves off from the upward room there. We kind of. Oh, we really should do this one because it's in the right shape. A commissary, maybe not this run because we have the bookshop. At least get to keep the book for that price. I think it gets stored in the library. I think we can order it from the library. But I don't think like it's personally in our inventory or anything like that. No treats. No treats. What a ripoff. Not a single treat. Not even a trunk. Not the chapel. We're saving money today. The laboratory. Going the right direction. I think we have to do it. So don't have to buy it every single time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I am taking screenshots anyway, so hopefully we won't have to buy it again. Right, if we only had power to the lab. Oh well. Okay, let's do an experiment. This experiment setup. Laboratory, you are free to experiment by... Yeah, okay, I already know this. Okay. Oh, I like immediately. Gain 1 star. Spread dirt on the driveway. I don't have a shovel. Gain 1 key for every 2 hallways in my house. I do not have any hallways in my house, so that will not help. Each time I eat an apple, do that? Or when I draft a red room, lose 5 steps. And then, maybe each time I eat an apple. I don't know if I'll run into many apples today, but I think each time I eat an apple, I gain 1 key. You know what? I feel like gaining keys would be good, but gaining +1 stars, remember, these are permanent. So I think I want to gain a star each time I eat an apple. What does dirt? I think it just creates a bunch of dig spots in the driveway. But I don't have a shovel right now, and no guarantee I'll get one this run. Especially if I'm trying to save up to buy a drafting strategy volume. That's 8 coins, so. Start experiment, okay. Right. Alright. Anything else in this room? Any apples maybe? There's food here before, I think. I think that's only because of the garden. Alright. Oh, a breakfast nook. Oh, but it's a dead end. I do kind of want to go that direction. But I am also kind of running out of... I mean, I also want to go up too, I guess. I guess we'll do a den. The hallway is good because the or the corridor is good because it's always unlocked, and it's nicer when it is farther down in the house. Probably a drawing room. We just got a gem. We'll spend a gem. It's okay. See, what else do we have here? Okay. I think courtyard. I want to go both directions. Yeah. We're spending a lot of gems though, unfortunately. Don't even have any keys yet. Redraw. I don't like the dead ends. What are the classrooms? This would make it a dead end. Oh, I want the pantry so bad. But I guess the classroom, 'cause it's the only way. Oh, but it's our last drafting in a classroom. You may draw new floor plans one time for each classroom in your house. Oh, okay. Kind of nice. Grade 1. Great. Let's go in the courtyard first. Oh, a trunk, but I don't have a single item. Can't open the trunk. I guess a spare room. Uh, Pantry or boudoir? We do want the money. I do want the money. Apple, and there's an apple. Yay! That was kind of lucky. +1 star. Yeah, experiment successful. Was this always painted like that? Hmm. Um, hmm. I mean, dark room or corridor? Thought it was just a pure white room. That's what I thought too. Like, you can even see it though on here, right? It's kind of painted blue. Even though it looks kind of more gray in the room itself, but it looks kind of blue here on the little map. But okay, dark room or corridor? Dark room's just I think too risky right now. I don't have a breaker box room, so observatory. Um, Crafting, you may spend. Oh, this is even counts towards. So if I go to the classroom, if I draw a study here, if I go to the classroom, I have 2 rerolls out of the classroom, I think, because this is one of those types of rooms. But I don't really want it because a drafting room, but I don't have gems. So I don't really want to spend gems to redraw things. So let's just do the observatory. Oh, we need gems though. Oh no, dead end. Okay, it's fine. We get a key, we get another coin. We can almost afford the book. We can almost afford the book. It's very exciting. We just have to not draw the chapel. Another apple, which means we get another star. Nice. 14 stars. Those are permanent. So, if nothing else, we get that from today. I'm going to look at the teacher's version first. Fill in each object below with its correct color. My favorite color is yellow. Red flag. Kind of want to mark that. Classroom. Grade 1. Red flag. Don't know why that's significant, but we'll write it down. Let's see the work here. B plus. 10 out of 12. Ooh, okay. What things do we know are correct? Grapes are purple. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is blueprint, so it's blue. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So one of these maps is correct. Okay. RJ worksheet. 10 out of 12. Mountain flag yellow. Heart flag purple. Hourglass flag orange. One of those is correct. Two of them are wrong. This is a B minus. Ready. Okay, let's see here. Ready worksheet. He has a 9 out of 12. And but he also got the blueprints wrong. And he also got this one wrong. So let's see. What things do we know we got right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. Out of these things. He missed these two, so that's two of them. So he only has one flag wrong. And two flags are correct. So two flags wrong. And he has a mountain flag yellow, heart flag orange, hourglass flag green. One flag wrong. So I'm gonna assume it's not the mountain, but it could be the mountain flag is wrong. I don't know that we know for sure. His favorite color is red. His favorite color is red. They both like red. Okay. Can you find the difference? Another clue in case we hadn't solved that puzzle yet. Colors. Blue, green, yellow, violet, and red. Or purple, for those of us who just want to say purple. Okay. Here's another one. B plus. Each color is only used twice. Ooh, good to know. Okay. 10 out of 12. This is Benny. Worksheet. 10 out of 12. Mountain flag blue. Heart flag orange. Hourglass flag purple. Okay, but now how many of them are wrong? Because he has like the lizard is wrong here. So one thing wrong. One of the flags is wrong. One flag wrong. Okay, I'm thinking that if the mountain flag is in fact, so every color is used twice. So none of these are blue. So, okay, because we are told every color is only used twice. And we have our two blue, so no flag is blue. So that means the mountain flag is wrong. So that means that we don't know that guaranteed that the mountain flag is yellow, but it means I think that the orange and purple flags are correct. And they are not red because we have two reds, and they are not green because we have two greens. We can go back to this one because it had all the other things correct, I'm pretty sure. Just the flags were wrong. So we had 2 reds, 2 greens, 2 blues, 2 blues, 2 greens, 2 reds. Reds, blue, green. Yeah, so they're yellow, orange, purple. They're definitely yellow, orange, purple. They're definitely yellow, orange, purple. So 3 flags are yellow, orange, and purple. Okay. Yeah, let's go over here. Last paper to look at. You must really like red. This is Caleb. 2 out of 12. The 2 points are for red, hydrant, and wagon. This one wasn't helpful to us at all. But what did this person say their favorite color was? Also red. Literally everyone said their favorite. Everyone's fave color is red. Concerning. Concerning to me. Okay. So I'm pretty sure the mountain flag is yellow. Right, this one had one wrong. One wrong flag. Yeah, everyone decided on it. I think it's because of their country is a red country. So they're all like just super patriotic. I think something about red. I don't know. There's a weird color thing going on. Let's see. Okay, so one of these flags is wrong. I'm pretty sure it is the hourglass flag, because that one can't be green. So we know this one can't be green, so that's the wrong one, which means that the heart flag is definitely orange. So heart flag is orange for sure, which we already got from our last one. Pretty sure hourglass flag is purple. Pretty sure. Let's just check with our other one up here as well. This one got 2 flags wrong. This one's supposed to be orange, and I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to be purple, and that was correct. Yeah. So, and then the mountain flag is yellow. I'm pretty sure. I haven't entirely logicked that out, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I don't know why that is important to us, but you know, it's the way it is. Can I draw? No. Okay. All right. I don't know why any of that's important, but now we know the answers. We can get an A. We can get a 12. I can get a 12 out of 12 on this. Can I go over here? Can I paint this? Can I do one of these? Can I make the colors? How to do the colors? Colors. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, infinity, 9, 10. The numbers. Okay. Breakfast nook looks good. We can also redraw, but I feel like breakfast nook is good. Perfectly fine. Yeah. Locked door. I guess we use the key. Ooh. Dining room would be good to have at some point. But I think I want parlor because I don't have enough gems. Okay. The statement on the white box is true. Statements with the word white are always true. That would be these two. The gems are in the white box. Okay. This one's false. Because they all have white, so they can't all be true. So statements with the word white are always true. That is false. Gems are in the white box. The statement on the white box is true. This is also false. Because the statement on the white box is false. So that means this one has to be true. The gems are in the white box. So the gems must be in the white box. I wonder if there's a black pawn, or because sometimes the parlor has a black pawn and sometimes the parlor has a white pawn. I wonder if when the parlor has a black pawn, if two statements are false. I'm going to write that down. Parlor. Black pawn, two false statements. Just keeping track of that from here on out. Just to see. I guess hallway. Although it's not really, I really wanted something that headed up. We're like having really a lot of trouble going over this direction. I guess we use another classroom. At least that takes us to the foundation. Closet gives us 2 items, but we have a dead end. We use a gem to get to the foundation, and we have another classroom, which is fun. Mathematics. Oh yeah, I know these math colors from the billiard room. Oh, look at the foundation out there. Not ominous outside of a classroom or anything. That's totally normal. Another apple. Yay. A new star. We're gaining so many stars today. What is our new worksheet? Oh, I can do this. But what is the point? Look at the colors. Yeah. 2 plus 5 is 7. 13 is correct. Yeah, they're right so far. 7 minus 3. Oh, that one's wrong. 7 minus 3 is 4. 9 minus 8 is correct. 2 times 3 is supposed to be 4. That one's wrong. 4 is 12. That one's wrong. 6 plus 1 plus 3 is 10. That's correct. 7 minus 3 is 4. That one's wrong. 6 minus 4 is 2. That one's right. 6 minus 1, or 6 plus 1, sorry, 7 minus 3, or times 3 is 21. They subtracted. Something's wrong. 6 times 1 is 6, times 3 is 18, so that one's wrong. And 6 minus 1 is 5, times 3 is 15. So that one is also wrong. 2, 3, yeah, okay, I think they got 1, 2, 3, like 4, and then one of these 5, something like that. Wait. 6. Which ones did they get wrong? Right, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7. Okay, yeah. What is the point? Is this just in case we didn't solve the billiard room, or what? I mean, I know what the math colors do from the billiard room. Okay. Classroom. Okay, grade 2. Red flag. All the worksheets basically teach you the color pattern for the math in the billiard room. As though we haven't solved the billiard room by this point. Okay. This lantern always been spinning weirdly over here. I don't know why the lanterns are like drawing me in today. Oh, a key. I don't have my key card. The door's locked. I don't have any keys. Oh no. Alright, well let's go all the way back. Wind our way, weaving back to the entrance hall. Man, and we almost have, I mean, that's fine, because we'll be down by, we have to go eventually to the library anyway, because eventually we will get one, we will get one more coin. And we still have more steps than we started with, so. Or not the one we started with, but more than we would have started with on a normal day. So it's not like I can be, too grumpy about that. Look, we're back at the entrance hall with 50 steps. It's like we got all these rooms for free, basically. And the outside. Billiard room. Sure. An orange. Not an apple, so not ideal, but I'll take it. Okay, 17. 4. Oh, whoops. I didn't notice. I didn't see the 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Times 15 is 30. Divided by 3 is 10. 20 plus 3 is 23. Minus 13 is 10. Times 2 is 20. Divided by 4 is 5. Yay. I would have preferred two regular keys, but it's okay. Ooh, passageway. I mean, we kind of need to, because unless I want to go use my key all the way down here and dead end this whole corner, we kind of have to use up all of our gems and choose the passageway. But at least these doors are, in theory, less likely to be locked. The morning room. I'll take it. We get 2 gems. It's nice. Maybe even another little treat in here somewhere. Any other little treats? Treats? No? Okay, that's fine. I'm not willing to lose money right now, so we'll do the closet. And we'll cut ourselves off. Okay. That was not the best. Oh, the car keys are in here, though. That can get us more keys, but also a dead end. Yeah. Oof, no. Oh, no, I don't. I just want one more coin, man. I just want one more coin. I want a shovel. Not a lever, a shovel. I want a shovel. God, this sucks. Okay. No. I guess let's go for it. Please be pointing in one. No, it's a dead end. Damn it. Oh, that would have been nice. Have a room that opens north. Yeah, if only I needed that right here. Okay, we have some keys. We can go all the way back up. Because we have to. Go all the way back up to the foundation. And we have one door out of the foundation we can use. This isn't pretty. This is not a pretty day for us. We're 1 coin short. And I don't know if we're gonna have enough steps to get back. Was this always knocked over? I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I'm gonna be a little silly crazy here. We have a special key we can use at the foundation. A lockpick. Okay, that's better than a key. Maybe. Maybe. It depends. We'll see. Grade 2. Maybe we can just pick this lock. Nope. Alright, we'll use our silver key here. Conference room. This feels like the way to go, for sure. Pick something that I can't see that also requires gems. No, thank you. Any treats in here today? Nope. No treats. A lockpicking lawyer today. We have an obscure door in a mystery mansion. Yeah. apparently. But it doesn't open. Okay, this lockpick sucks. Just saying, it doesn't work. I've tried it on 3 doors. We're locked out of everything. It was not worth it. It was not worth getting the lockpick from that chest. Because it doesn't open any doors. No. No, but we got the bookshop. Yeah, well, the lockpick's just our chance, but it's not a very good chance, apparently. Man. Man, this isn't good. Sucks. Okay. I can't believe we're 1 coin short. 2. 1 coin short. Makes me mad. How do I get more allowance? I want more allowance. Okay, I guess we have to call it a day. Because I don't know what else to do. Alright. Fortunately, we could not buy Architect's Villa. 5 drafting rooms. Oh, because the classrooms count as drafting rooms. And the drawing room. What other rooms are drafting rooms? Oh, the schoolhouse is a drafting room, so we have... But then what's the other drafting room? Oh, the library is also a drafting room. Okay. That's why it's Architect's Villa, because of the drafting rooms. Total rooms 26, with 3 new rooms again. That's always good. Our new rooms were the bookshop, the classroom 1, classroom 2. Those were the 3 new rooms we got. Or the schoolhouse. So schoolhouse, classroom, and these count as the same room, as the same type of new room, I guess. And then the bookshop. Okay. Save and continue. We'll do one more day. Day 16, November 22nd. 16, November 22nd. Okay. Only have 50 steps today. Oh, right, we gotta get our allowance first. Damn it. I wasted a step. Man, I hate how they get you. Hate how they get you. Alright. Who knows what's out here? Waiting for us. I guess more likely to have dig spots is good. I don't have a shovel. Is there a shovel in here? That'd be amazing if they gave me a shovel in here. Oh. Okay. Okay, this is great. I'm gonna screenshot this. Educational. Okay. Potato. Don't have a shovel. More potatoes. Why can't I eat the potatoes? And the, like, radishes or whatever they are? Okay, that's fine. There are a lot of dig spots in here. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. There are 8 dig spots out here. That's a lot of stuff we could get. As long as we get a shovel. So maybe priority today is get a shovel. So if we see a commissary, we get the commissary. Not the best start. Treats? Oh, treat. Okay, garage keys. Not the car keys, I mean. Not the best, but this is a nice place for a window. Oh, and look, it has a pretty view of the mountain and everything. Kind of blocking the view a little bit of the front porch. But this is a nice place for the bedroom, I think. It's a nice window spot. I like how the light's shining through. That's quite nice. Okay. Pantry's nice. I could use the money. But it circles us back around. I don't want something like that right here. Okay, I actually want to go back out here and see what we got on the other side. Go in. Commissary. Yes. I'll take that actually here. I like that. I do want to see, is there a shovel for sale? Ooh, here's another dig spot. More dig spots around. Please tell me. There's no shovel. There's no freaking shovel. What a waste. I guess the den. I guess we'll go this way. No real point in doing that other door then, because we could just do this door. Pantry, security, kind of dead end. I guess, yeah, pantry. I would like a shovel. No, we'll just cut ourselves off from that corner room. That's okay. I have to remember I didn't get the stuff from the pantry. Well, this kind of sucks. Over here. There are a bunch of dig spots in here. Oh my god. I kind of want steps now, too. Because we're gonna have to be backtracking so much to go to these dig spots when eventually we get a shovel. That, you know, like that apple is super important. I wish we still had our experiment in place, though. I guess the parlor. There are just too many dead ends. Another black pawn. Okay. I suspect 2 statements are false because of the black pawn, but that's just me. The statement on one of the other 2 boxes would be true if you replace the word every with the word this. Oh my god. No. Every box contains gems. False. Every box is black. False. This one has to be true. Statement on one of the other boxes, other 2 boxes would be true if you replace the word with every this. Okay. This box is not black, but this box is true. Or that could be. And this box is true. No, so it would be true if you change every to this. That one wouldn't be, but this one would. And this is true, so they're in here. This box contains gems. We had 2 false, 1 true again. Like I said, I think Black Palm Parlor means 2 false statements. I suspect that to be the case. Oh! Coin purse. Every time you collect 3 coins, earn 1 additional coin of interest. Oh man, getting that right after the pantry sucks. They did that intentionally. They're all freaking dead ends. Okay, well, I'm definitely not gonna... Man, this sucks. I guess the corridor. Man, all 3 of those are good to not have as dead ends. But yet, all these others... this game hates me. Hates me, I tell ya. Don't even have a shovel for sale, or I could buy a shovel if it were for sale. Shovels are 6 coins. But they don't have a shovel for sale, and there's a reason. It's because the game hates me. Passageway, I guess. Morning room is fine. Look at all the dig spots. Oh my god. If only. Safe deposit box key. Where's the safe deposit box at? I guess the boudoir. You know what? I do know the code for the safe in here now. Not for any real reason. It's because there's this picture of Christmas, right? And it's the date of Christmas. Was that always missing a candle? These rooms seem to have subtly changed. I know the date to this just because I saw another streamer's chat tell them. So it's just 12/25, the date of Christmas. Bam. Okay. And then the letter. Yeah, well, we have 2 safes open because I think the one in the shelter counted because that's why we have, well, can't see it right now, but on our sheet, our map screen menu, it has the red letter kind of accounted for. Okay, Herbert, I was distraught to learn that you have chosen to omit the details of our dear Marian's disappearance from the public record. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible, but I am shocked you have so little regard for your niece that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. To keep up her family, her fortune, and her life. And all you can do is think of your name. Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifice as she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your pretty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. Our countrymen must be made aware of the price she paid, and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew, as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. To deny her story is to deny her life. If through your silence you bless this betrayal, our son Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies, and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year, Daniel. Okay, this is letter 4. Save. Red letter 4. Red die 40. I even wrote red die. Red letter 4. Okay. From Daniel, our dad. Okay. To Herbert. Okay. To Herbert. Mad that Herbert kept details of Marian's disappearance from public record. It was harsh just to end with I'm not coming to Christmas. I mean, he's mad. He's mad. Royal court would want the embarrassment kept quiet, but he's mad Herbert would create favor with them at Marian's expense. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life. Doing that thing where when I open, okay. But the way the Christmas part was wrote kind of felt comical. That's just because Christmas is significant to this room. Probably. Okay. Okay, but then Daniel says he never had a family name nor fortune, so he can't condemn Herbert for wanting to keep his. But asks Herbert does not undermine the cause Marian gave everything for. Countrymen should be aware of the price she paid and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. That other letter said something about the darkness of a hundred nights too. Inherit a fortune of lies and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Okay. Okay, let's screenshot this for posterity. Posterity is me in the future. Okay. Off we go. The sun is shining in. Right. Backtracking. We have some dice. I mean, I just want a shovel. That's what we need is a shovel. We're not getting good room layouts, though. Oh, you know what? This is fine here. We have 8 gems. That's pretty nice. Don't remember the other letter, but Darkness of 100 Nights definitely seems significant. Yeah, no, I've definitely seen it before. This is the other letter. Okay. No, I definitely... Is there like... Feature... Find. Find... Darkness. Is that it? I swear. Okay, it was, I swear it was somewhere. It was somewhere. I just didn't write it down. But I know we've seen that phrase somewhere else before. I know we have. I just don't know where it was. Okay, let's do this way first. The pool. I mean, I guess the pool. No, let's redraw. No, I used my... Oh, damn it. That was the stupidest... Oh my god. No. Did you see that? I used the wrong redraw. Oh. No, I meant to redraw with the drawing room redraw, and I used one of my dice. No. No. We're gonna do the patio here. Hopefully the patio has a shovel. No. Does not have a shovel. That's okay. This room should have an extra gem in it. Yes. Okay. We used up some steps, but that's all right. Security. Yeah, we just got some gems. Why not? Okay, I want to go from out here though. No, it's locked. I should have. I mean, I guess I should have drawn that room after I was in it. I don't know why I didn't. That was stupid of me. Look at me, just wasting all sorts of steps. Fucking closet is nice. But we need the courtyard, unfortunately. Shovel? Shovel? No, it's a trunk. Ugh, okay, it's fine. This is a bad place for a walk-in closet. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Shovel, 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 no. Where's the 4th? Oh, they're just all freaking keys. I mean, I guess it's nice to get keys, but... Observatory's nice, but I also need to go up. I can't just pick one that goes down, really. Oh, well. Okay, we'll do closet. Shovel, shovel, shovel. No. No shovel. Of course they're not going to give me the shovel this game because they know that I have a great need for the shovel. All right. let's go back to the patio again. But now we have more keys than we did before. But we hardly have any steps left. I have been wasting so many steps. Locker room. Spread keys throughout the house. Okay. I haven't drawn the locker room before. Oh. But there are keys throughout the house. Oh, here's another key. Okay, well, we got a key, so what's in the lockers? What's in the lockers? Well, I don't have money for keys. I have 7 coins. Keys cost 10. Oh, this will be big. I'm running out of steps, but if we can just keep pushing forward, we can then come back and eat. Is there a little snack in here right now? No. Okay. Oof. Libraries. Okay. Kitchen actually might have been a smarter move, but that's all right. This is good for like future days. Okay, so we've done Sightseer's Guide to Reddington. We've done Swimbird. We've done the Pump System User Manual. We've done Drafting Strategy Volume 3. Let's do the Fixed Stars and History of Arindia, which isn't that one of the books you can buy from the bookstore? Is it a different copy? Does it have more stuff in it? What are the chances that one of those lockers had a shovel? I have no idea what's in the lockers. The thing. At this point, I want to go up because I want more steps. Rotunda, sure. We're using a lot of gems, but I need to go up. I need to go up one more. But then we get steps. Okay, yeah, sure. Sure. 50 coins. Yeah, but I already have it in my library, right? So what's the point in buying it for 50 coins? Why is it on sale for 50 coins if I already own it? Right, that's my question. So if we buy it, does it have extra stuff in it? Like, are there missing pages from our copy? Right? Hallway. Let's just continue up here. Oh, there's a little bell telling us that dinner is ready. I don't know if I like that. But there are keys around. So let's just use it to go up here. The vault. We don't have the gems required. Mailroom is nice. Food for sale. I don't know that we're gonna spend our coins on anything interesting, so we could just get more steps now. Yeah, I think the other copy might have special stuff in it. Yeah, we'll go with kitchen because I actually do want the steps because I want to know what's in the locker room. We're gonna blow our money on bananas. Yeah, okay, not if it's locked. All right, let's go back and grab our dinner. Dinner is ready in the dining room for us. Fish. If I have an aquarium, oh, there's so many days we've had an aquarium. Of course we don't have an aquarium today. Let's have dinner. Okay. 20 steps. All right, now there should be keys all around the house back farther. So we're gonna go use a couple of these keys right now. Which I want this one. Okay. And this one. Okay, that broken lever. Maybe there is a shovel in one of these. All right, but it does distribute keys throughout the house. Where else would there be a key? Probably the drawing room probably has a key. Oh yeah, it does. We just were in there, duh. Um, the courtyard and the walk-in closet. I don't know if they'd have keys. Oh, but let me use a key. The pool. Don't see any keys. There is another key in here again. Okay. Let's use one of those on the trunk. Sometimes there's more keys in here. We're leaving a perfectly good fish skeleton, yeah. Oh, the garden key. Well, this gives us actually more fruit. Ooh, wait a minute. Should try see if we can use this outside of the drawing room. Not the drawing room, sorry, the dining room. But I'm gonna go try to see if I can find some more keys first. Actually, no, I should go try to get in the garden right now. Because it also puts fruit around the house, and then I can eat fruit as I of course it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. Fine. Where should I go? I think it can be because I think there's actually restrictions on it. I think we can go to the gymnasium. We just lose some of our steps, which is unfortunate. But we can gain them back. We can gain them back. I am just running all over the place, very chaotically. And this is unfortunate. Any keys in here? No. Okay. No key. Okay. Oh, damn it. I needed that door. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and this one's not locked. Oh, oh, but this one has. No, this is how it's gonna work. One key. It needs to be up here. I'm pretty sure this will work. It doesn't. Damn it. Okay. Uh, man. Okay. No, no. Ugh, man, so freaking angry. I have 11 steps. I don't think I can go anywhere. I don't have enough. I could go all the way around back to the rotunda and go into the foundation. And I think I actually could do the garden from the foundation up there. But, or that hallway. I might have been able to do it from that hallway. I forgot that that hallway was there, actually. Because I don't think it can be in a corner, so I didn't think I could draw it from the kitchen. But I think I can open it from the hallway. And that hallway door, I think, was locked. Yeah, it was. So I think I could have gotten it from the hallway. But I can't get there. 1, 2, because the gym's going to take 2 steps for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can only make it back to the dining room. And we didn't get a shovel. Of course I get the root cellar with all these dig spots. but no shovel, no shovel. Like I could have had a shovel in the commissary, but I'm pretty sure the game probably says if you have the root cellar, do not put the shovel in the commissary. That probably is the case, right? Like, because they're trying to make things difficult for you. You can't have everything just fall into place. I don't know, or maybe I'm just unlucky today because it's not like the game wants you to lose. You know, it doesn't make sense. Hmm. Man, I'm just unlucky today. Go figure. We have one key though. We have a normal key. You know, I normally don't open the hallway doors, so let's try. Let's open this one. Key. Okay, it does open to the next door. Wait a minute. Guest bedroom. Another key as a little treat. Okay, we have 25 steps. Oh, because we also have the sleeping mask. Okay, wait a minute. We might be able to salvage this. Let's see if we can go back to the hallway and try to draw the garden. For what good that'll do. Are there keys in here? No, okay. And no keys in here. We've already looked here for keys. We've looked here too. We've looked here. Yeah, we've already looked in here. Okay. Not from here. Right, we can't draw the garden from here. Need to go in here. Go up here to the hallway, I think is the play. Damn, of course it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. What if we use it? Use our dice to redraw. Okay. The aquarium can take us over to the other side. Ooh, or we should just give up and start tomorrow with 20 extra steps. That might be the way to go. I think we just give up. You know what we call it. Or I can try to see. I don't think I can draft the garden in the corner, but we could give it a shot. We can see. We can go up to the kitchen and see. Yeah, no. Wow, that key doesn't fit anywhere. I have no keys, 2 gems, and a re-roll, but everywhere's locked. Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, we're calling it a day. But at least I do get 20 extra steps the next day. And I have the morning room too, so I have 2 extra gems, so we're starting with that again. This wasn't a very profitable day overall. Unfortunately. Oh, and I can't believe I got the coin purse right after I got the pantry too. It was in the parlor. That sucked. I think that was like one of the last times I uh got coins was from the pantry. So I never really got to put the coin purse into action. Oh well. Okay, call it a day. Call it. Yep. I don't think we can do anything else. Everywhere's locked. Garden Manor. So we have 4 green rooms. I guess. What are 4? Oh, the root cellar. I was like, what are the green rooms? The courtyard, the patio, and the morning room, but also the root cellar is a green room. Okay. Makes sense, makes sense. We did draw 3 new rooms again, though. The rotunda, I don't think I've done before. The root cellar, and the locker room. So, you know, that's good. We're making progress. We're drawing new rooms. So, as long as there's some progress being made, I guess, that's good. But we're going to save and quit. Save and quit. That is all for today's stream. Again, another shorter stream, but unfortunately. Um, but yeah, hopefully I'll be more timely on Tuesday, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna play on Tuesday. Tuesday's my next stream. I don't know what I'm gonna play. Maybe more this game. Maybe more. Uh, Today I was gonna play this game. I thought anyway, but I had to absolutely because I was like, well, if my headphones take too long, I can play this without volume. It's possible. Sounds not super important in this game, as opposed to like something like Lost Records, Blue and Rage. The volume is pretty important. So I wouldn't be able to play it without charged headphones, but my headphones charged up fine. So, but I was already planning on playing this anyway. But Tuesday, I might play this. I might play Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I'm not thinking I'm not feeling like Medieval Dynasty right now, but keep missing the conversation at the start. Got to check bots for stuff on YouTube. Oh yeah, yeah, the current event stuff. I ate dinner and then I was gonna start stream, but then I saw Cinder posted her quote unquote apology. So yeah, and I talked a little bit about it. Overall, I think it somehow made her look worse, at least to me. To me, um, who does not know her even as a VTuber, right? Like, obviously, I don't know her personally, but I also don't know her as a VTuber. Like, I literally have so little to go off of. But from my little I know, it made her look even worse. So that was interesting. Um, I knew it was gonna be hard to come back from it, and honestly, yeah, it wasn't good. So few responses that I agree. It sounded like about the worst. Cover your ass, blame. Yeah, no, it's like not even the fact that she's shifting blame. Like to me, there are some more concerning things where it's like, um, her, uh, her language is manipulative, and again, I don't know her, but it seems to me that she's like this is all I've seen from her, right? Is this apology, quote unquote apology. It's mostly her again, yeah, deflecting and shifting blame, and she does say that she's sorry, but there's a lot of making excuses and stuff. Um, and to the point where it doesn't really seem like it's less like I'm sorry for what I did and more like I'm sorry that you got hurt type of thing. Um, but uh, but the language is pretty manipulative. Um, sorry that you're upset by the things my manager or boyfriend did that have nothing to do with. Kind of, yeah. Or she's like, I did bad things, but that's because my mindset is wrong and it's my boyfriend's fault. Um, and I get like she's like saying like she's not even saying her boyfriend, she's saying her manager, but let's be real. If your boyfriend were your manager, are they your manager first or are they your boyfriend first? Like what is their primary role in your life? And it's honestly probably boyfriend. Like it's your boyfriend acting as your manager, not your manager who is your boyfriend. I'd assume. As someone who does not have a boyfriend manager, I don't exactly know the dynamics, but I would assume that they're your boyfriend first. That's what you primarily think of them as. So, because one thing she did say was like, that she's gonna work her relationship out with her boyfriend in private. But she said like, oh, my friendships I've made in the VTubing space and the artist community and things like that are so important to her, and they're way more important than her relationship with her manager. And it's like, but your manager's your boyfriend. Like your friendships, I don't know that makes you seem like a loyal friend, right? That was something that really stuck with me was when she's like, no, 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 I'm so loyal to my friends. I love my friends way more than my boyfriend. And it's like, I, I don't know that makes you seem very loyal. If you're like, obviously my friendships I value way more than my 5-year long relationship with my boyfriend. Like, I mean, I guess friendships are important, but just to kind of like toss your relationship with your boyfriend aside like that, it's like as you're blaming the whole thing on him is like, I, I'm not good. Should that blame his manager who gets fired while the boyfriend quietly stays around to significantly. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And that's the problem with the manager being the boyfriend. It's not that she hid her relationship or even that she has a boyfriend manager. But like, the problem is like, yeah, if the boyfriend is still around, then it's like, okay, well, are you really that upset about what he did in your role as manager? Like, you can drop him as your manager, but like, he's still there influencing you. It's like, what does it matter? Um, but yeah, but she's like, yeah, but she doesn't that relationship is not very significant to her compared to all her friendships she's made in content creation. And it's like, dude, that's your boyfriend though. Like, I get if you're like, oh, sorry that it made it seem like I didn't care about my VTuber friends. It isn't just business with you guys. I really love you. And it's like, okay. She's like, more than my manager. That's just business. And it's like, but that's your boyfriend. What, is your boyfriend just business too? What? You can't, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not like, no, no, look how loyal I am. Look how loyal I am. I love you guys way more than my manager. But again, manager equals boyfriend. So you don't look that loyal. Like, I mean, maybe, it's fine to like, some people, their friendships are more important than their romantic relationships, but like, it feels weird to kind of justify her loyalty by tossing her boyfriend aside because that doesn't prove to me that you're loyal. That you can like turn on your long-term boyfriend like that um to keep your other friends like that just seems kind of toxic. So responsive for some of those VTuber friends seem like this yeah, and again, like the biggest thing to me is looking at the reactions of the people who do know the people involved, and they're like they're they're very clearly they very clearly have opinions. Like, I don't know these people, so I don't know, but the people who do know people, uh, you know, are it's very clear. It's not a messy, kind of confusing situation. Oh, both sides have no. That's not the case very clearly. Turning on one long-term relationship for another long-termish relationships without a lot of explanation is iffy. Yeah, yeah. It's just like, and I mean, she can say, because she says, "Oh, my manager." Obviously, I'm not gonna, have a really close relationship with my manager compared to my friends. And it's like, yeah, you can say that if we didn't know your manager was your boyfriend. Like, yeah, if it were just a manager, yeah, ditch the manager. Obviously, they're not as important to you as your friends, but that's also your boyfriend. So, like, we haven't forgotten that part. Like, just because we're at the end of a very long doc does not mean we've forgotten that part. I also really didn't like that she said that she had never wanted, and I kind of talked about this for a lot, but didn't want religious stuff in her branding. So she was never going to be a biblical angel, which it's like, bro, who would be? Those things are scary. But like, she's like, I never want to be a biblical angel. I was going to be more of a Greek Valkyrie, even though Valkyries aren't Greek. So it's just super insensitive. And was like, no, no, I was going to be an insensitive, culturally appropriating model instead of an angel because I don't want religious interpretations. I don't want religion in my branding. But I'm fine with sin and demons and hell. That's okay. That's okay. That religion's fine, but not angels. But also I'll take, other people's religion. I'll take Norse and Greek religion, but kind of blend them together because I'm not going to tell the difference because who the heck cares about different cultures like that? Freaking insensitive. I don't know. That just made me mad because again, that's like, my area of expertise for work and stuff. So that really kind of really annoyed me. Yeah, it's the reason they say be not afraid because they're terrifying. It's like, Cinder, no one thought you were going to be a biblical angel, but I get what she means. She's like, I wasn't going to be a little angel with wings and halos. But she then was like, instead, I was going to be not that type of angel, but like a Greek Valkyrie. And it's like, oh, okay, they aren't angels, and Valkyries aren't Greek. So like, bleh. Manager boyfriend just sounds like you're asking for trouble. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's clearly issues there too. Whatever that was. I don't even know that relationship. And like I get that she's kind of like, oh, he just kind of made me, get in a weird headspace. My work-life balance, she's like, I'm bad at that. And, he was skewing my perspective on things, and like maybe, but that's no excuse. And because there are a lot of issues here, not just that one. If that's all it was, then that'd be fine. Or not fine, but it'd be something to work through. Um, but that's not all it is. So it's not overlap between these mythologies. Yeah, yeah, those mythologies don't overlap. And that's why it's just kind of like uh and even her kind of explaining it being like, well, instead of a biblical angel, I was gonna be that. And it's like, well, but you said you wanted an angel as opposite your demon, like to opposite the hellhound as a demon. So you were gonna be an angel opposite that, but not like a biblical angel. And it's like, okay, so what type of angel? Oh, like a Greek Valkyrie. And it's like, oh, the Greek Valkyrie type of angel. Those are three separate things. Just she just like threw that in there, and I'm like, wow, okay, there's a lot of other problems in this whole document, but like, wow, you just threw in something randomly problematic for the fun of it. Like, what? So that upset me. I don't know if other people would be bothered by it, but I was. I thought that was a crazy thing to say, and was like entirely unnecessary. Um, but I was like, wow, I'm already kind of upset about this whole thing, and like this just makes it worse. But yeah, I ultimately the whole thing, um, yeah, I don't know where that character starts, but yeah, and like a lot of the worst stuff she does just be like, that's on me and I was awful. Greek Valkyrie Angel took a second to process. Yeah, there's a lot to that, especially because it kind of circles back around. Because like, well, not like a biblical angel, but like a Greek angel, and it's like, the Bible's written in Greek, right? Like, like, what are we even talking about anymore? Like, but also, yeah, she doesn't even mean biblical angel when she says biblical angel, right? Like, she means pop culture conception of an angel. I don't even know. And it's all too, she doesn't want to be religious. So, but we are going to do demons and sin and hell and that type of stuff. That's fine because that's like not religious, I guess. I don't know. The whole that kind of, again, because that kind of steps on my personal uh expertise, and so that kind of like bugged me a bit. But the whole thing, what really got me about the whole thing and that I thought made her look really bad is her whole apology is very manipulative. And she kind of constantly speaks using manipulative phrases and words and like arguments. And it's the same sort of stuff. Biblically accurate VTuber. Yeah, yeah, all the wings and visually disturbing. Yeah, exactly. She didn't even mean that. She didn't even mean biblical angel. Yeah, exactly, exactly. She didn't. She meant the thing is she's just not. She's like she doesn't. I don't know how much what her background is in religion, but like she doesn't seem to know much about any of the things she's talking about, which again, I feel it is appropriation if you don't know about those things. And it's one thing to appropriate like Christian stuff because, Christians have oppressed other peoples in the past, blah, blah, blah. But the ancient Greeks did not. Mm, The Norse did, but uh they were kind of in turn also oppressed. But the Greeks didn't really. So I think it's kind of, I don't know. Ultimately, I think you should just always be knowledgeable if you're using cultural things, be knowledgeable of those things. Don't just like use them as an aesthetic to wear for your VTuber model. Um and I think it's kind of rude too and inappropriate um for all of it. She doesn't know, like, I don't know, anything she's talking about. So primary local culture versus specific separate alternative culture. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of mm, I mean, appropriation and, appreciation are, and like who can do it and what or whatever. Like for instance, like I said, like I can't have a Japanese theme model, right? But um a Korean VTuber can have a Japanese theme model, right? But I can't because I'm white. So like it's kind of weird for like who can use what. Um, and and like how much knowledge they have to have about it, but I pretty much think like I feel like anytime anyone uses an aesthetic, you should know about it. No one should use an aesthetic that is not their own unless they know about it. And if it is their own, they also should know about it, right? Like it's not you're not from that culture if you don't know that aesthetic. Even if like you are Chinese and then you decide to like, use like, Chinese aesthetic, but you don't know anything about it, um, then, like then you're not from that culture. If you know about the thing, then you are from that culture, right? And it's like the difference between culture and race. And just because you're from a particular race doesn't mean you're from that culture. And you really always should know about the culture if you're using something. Basically, sums it up. And if you are from that culture, you can knowingly use that thing. And you can kind of use it however you want because it is your culture. But if you are not from that culture, not from that race, and you do know about it, but you're using it negatively, then don't. If you're using it okay, then yes. But, it's kind of like, it's a little bit iffy, but in some areas, but I don't know, the everything Cinder said was kind of like with it made uh I was not happy about that, essentially. But but maybe she just misspoke or something because, she's so um I'll give her that benefit of the doubt. There was a lot, it's not the focus of things going on. Maybe she's just not, Ms. Rowe or something. Don't wear a hanbok unless you know something about it and the stuff around it and try to use it appropriately if you do. Yeah, yeah. Like it just depends, on like if you know about it, you should know about a thing and then like um use it appropriately or at least not like inappropriately. And if you're from that culture, then you can use it in different ways because that's but you have to be from that culture and from that uh and not just from that race as well, I think. But because you can't just have all sorts of white people be like, oh well, I'm white, so I can do ancient Greek stuff however I want. Because like you're not freaking Greek, man. Like, or I'm white, so I can do Celtic stuff however I want. And it's like, okay, well, are you like Celtic? Or are you just like French and German? Like, and I mean, if you are, I mean, it kind of actually you might be able to do Celtic stuff, but if you're French, but I mean, it just it's so complicated, and like, but you should always know about it is the point. And a lot of people do not know about things. They do not learn or are educated about things when they use them. Um, and that frustrates me. And knowing about Greek and Norse gods from a children's picture book does not count. Knowing about them from Percy Jackson does not count. That is not a good source for objective academic information. So I don't know. It's yeah, kind of that stuff bugs me. Kind of bugs me because like on behalf of the culture they're using from, I'm like I that just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, but yeah, Cinder's apology was pretty manipulative all the way through. If you haven't read it yet, I suggest reading through it and noticing some of the manipulative tactics and language she uses. It is very similar to the manipulative language she used in some of her exchanges that were, screenshotted. Uh, and I didn't see all of them again because due to high traffic, the images are blocked from the Google Docs. So um, everyone else came with very well prepared receipts and um, very well organized, succinctly stated arguments. I get Cinder was kind of fighting on a lot of fronts, so it was kind of all over the place in her doc because she had to address so many different issues, but it was like it was long. It was long. Like I said, I saw it after dinner and I was like, "Oh, let me read this real quick before stream." And it took me like 45 minutes to like actually read through and figure out. Granted, I hadn't read all the docs, accusing her, so I didn't know all the situations like so it took me a while to kind of piece out what people had accused her of to understand her defense. But yeah, it was like there's a lot. It's a lot. But overall it is kind of manipulative. And what gets me is like that's all I've seen from her, right? Because again, I don't know her beyond this. Which I know is my own bias and everything, but like from, the screenshots of but it concerns me the fact that she's being accused of manipulating people and her apology is riddled with the same manipulations. Um Makes me kind of think that that's just how she communicates. She doesn't intentionally manipulate people. That's just how she talks to people. And she might just be kind of manipulative as a person, maybe. Um I would be concerned about that if I were, if like even everything clears over and everything, remove all of the drama aside. Let's say everyone's like, never mind, we forgive her. It's okay. It was her boyfriend's fault, blah, 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 right? All of that aside, all of the communications I've seen from her have had this sort of underlying manipulation that I honestly don't think she does intentionally. I think that's just how she interacts with people, which would be concerning for me. But she has so many friends, so I don't know like if they never noticed it or something, or maybe she's not actually like that. Um, but it does seem like there's a lot of manipulation in it. Um, that she still throws out. She kind of talks about how all the good things she has done for Nano in the past. She's like, I did this and I did this for her and I did this for her and I was so nice when I did this for her. I really do like her. See, because look at how all the nice things I've done for her. And it's like that's a weird thing to put here. And then saying like, and I really thought she wanted to work with me. I really did. She did want to work with you. Like I just talking high school click queen. It's an old unsocial nerd take. Um, Kind of. I don't know. I don't even necessarily think that's the vibe I'm getting. It's kind of like, um, I don't know, someone who's just kind of not even used to getting what they want, but someone who is very focused on getting what they want, right? Where they're just gonna like, always have this underlying manipulation when they talk to people because they're always like, they always have this goal of trying to get their way, right? From any conversation. And that's kind of like the goal. And here, like, you're like, okay, she should be apologizing, should be her goal, but it's clear her goal is saving her image. And I mean, yeah, while that might still be the case, like, is that actually her primary concern? Or is it like, the fact that she hurt her friends? And like, I get at this point, like, I understand why hurting her image, like, is a problem because this is her career. So like I understand that. But and so like it's a huge deal, but I don't know. And oh, there was another phrase she said. She said because at the end she says that she's going to apologize. Everyone who, wrote a doc against her, she gave a personal apology to them. Yeah, a degree of damage control is inevitable, exactly. But like to me the problem is yeah that she combined the apologies with the damage control. And she literally said like at the end she said like um I don't deserve to talk to you each to reach out to you guys individually in private one-on-one, so I'm going to say it here, my apology here in this document to you, and I hope you read it here to Nano, to Silvervale. And it's just kind of like, wow, I don't deserve to talk to you people one-on-one feels like she's making herself the victim, right? Like she's trying to garner sympathy for herself. I don't even deserve to talk to you anymore. Like, no, reach out and apologize. Don't say, "Oh, I don't deserve to apologize to you. I don't deserve for you to even think of me again. I don't even deserve to be the dirt you walk upon." Like, come on. Like, I don't know. That's just how it felt to me. That's the type of vibe. Not to be like too harsh to her or anything, but that is the same type of move as saying that is it generates pity for herself. And that's a weird way to start an apology, kind of. Just saying. Um, just to yeah, just to point out that is and I don't really I kind of feel bad like if he like engaging in the drama, but like I kind of always do like calling out manipulation when I see it because a lot of people don't recognize manipulation very well. And like that is manipulation. Like very, very clear and blatant manipulation. And very inappropriate for starting a series of apologies, basically. It's one of the older things the person involved was like, it's been 5 years, we weren't friends. So you're okay with the apology? I'm okay with the apology and would prefer not to be involved. Oh yeah, yeah. I think yeah, there were yeah, some people who were whatever about it, but apology doc doesn't say the words sorry or apology until more than halfway through. It seems like that isn't the primary focus of the document. Did it? I kind of thought she apologized a little bit at the beginning too, but um and she did say like she was wrong quite a lot. And some of the worst things, like to me, the Silvervale thing, like reading Silvervale side of things, I was like, that seems not good, but you know, pretty, much lumping in with the rest. But reading Cinder's side of things was way worse on the Silvervale uh front, I guess. Is something I'll start off by saying specifically what it was, apologize for the specifics. I think kind of the problem was she just had too many apologies to make. I think that was kind of it. Um, and but she did, and I kind of get where she's coming from because I understand a lot of times, you start. I know it's quite an interesting problem. I kind of feel like they should have actually been separate docs rather than all lumped into the same one because she did different things to different people. Um, and it feels like they should have been separate because lumping them all together, they kind of all blended together. Um, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a lot, and um, I get that why she explained her perspective on some of them because she's like, look, this is what happened on my end, because she has to then say exactly what she did wrong. Because like, the people who were hurt by her don't actually even realize what she did, right? They see the outcome of it, but they don't know what part she had in it or what she had been thinking. And I'm like thinking, especially from like the Silvervale thing, because again, reading Silvervale's perspective and then reading Cinder's, it's like, oh wow, things were way worse than I thought when I just read Silvervale's. Like Cinder's side of things, I was like, oh wow, that's not that she looks really bad in her own in her own explanation. But like props to her for owning up to it. And that's she does say is like one of the um because like for the issue with Nano and like blocking the models and stuff when it was like who was it? Uh who was the other person? It was Bao someone and then VTuber one, right? And there's so many people involved. I kind of forget who was in what part. But and I'm blanking on who was. But and then Silver was like I'm VTuber one, blah blah blah, right? And like it was kind of crazy seeing Cinder's response being like, I um I didn't realize that my other friends were going to be hurt by this. She's like, I only knew that I was screwing over Silvervale. I didn't realize I was also screwing over my other friends. She's like, I just thought I was screwing over one person. And it's like, okay. And she's like, yeah, because I just don't like her because she came before me and I was jealous of her. Although she never said the word jealous. That's implied in her explanation. It would have been nice if she called it what it was, I think. I really don't think she said the word. At least not that I recall. But and she was just basically just jealous of someone who was kind of ahead of her in the game and kind of similar to her and doing similar things and she kind of saw her as competition and always was kind of viewing her like that and she was fine and she did try to get Nano to stop working with her. So it's like that was wild coming from her, like, because you realize then, yeah, she did try to do it, but it was for different reasons when it was Silvervale. She did intentionally try to block Silvervale, so it was important that no, the third wasn't spite. That was like a different thing. The third was because it was technically the second person in the list. It was Bao and then someone. Yeah, and I don't think it was Shy Lily. It was. Mm, I didn't even realize she blocked Geary from a model too, apparently, but that's what she said in her apology. Um, and yeah, I forget who person number two was. Mm. But yeah, but there's just too many people, and too many things, and that's why I really think she should have done it separately, and she honestly should have like started an initial apology today and said, look, I haven't been in the right headspace. I'm going to address this one at a time every day. I'm going to write a different apology to a different person. And so every day this week, she should have put out a different apology addressing different situations individually, one at a time. Um, and started with a general apology and her intention to address them, fully and properly, I think would have been better than the big doc that did come out. You have to look it all later. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's very complicated. It wasn't Shiloh, who apparently extremely cheery suggestion from Giga that an artist dropping a model commission. Oh yeah, I saw that from Giga too. Yeah. No, but there were three people listed in in Nano's thing. She was like, there were three people. Who was it? Let me see actually. We can look it up. Hmm. Uh Oh, I don't know if I can. It's gonna be hard to look it up on my computer. Never mind. Um, but yeah, you can see it. Whatever it is, it's in Nano's doc. Because she specifically lists three people, right? It was like Bao, someone, and VTuber one, and she then talks about how she didn't. VTuber one didn't want to be shared. But then that ended up being Silvervale. But I forget who the second person was. Um, but yeah, Giga suggested that. Well, and we don't know that. I don't know if it was confirmed that Gigas is related. Just that, yeah, the suggestion that she had a suspiciously dropped model commission. Yeah, um, basically. So, uh, but yeah, it is the whole thing is just kind of concerning, but ultimately, like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, how could you do this to your friends and stuff? But basically, the simple thing is like they're not actually friends, and I don't know that she would have ever viewed people as friends if she's able to do this stuff to them, right? Um, because like she's treating them more like colleagues rather than friends. Um, and colleagues in a kind of loose sense, right? Like people who work in the same industry but are not on the same team. And she says that it's just business was not about screwing over her friends, but uh it certainly makes sense. So, like, I don't know, it's just a classic issue of people not actually being friends with people, basically. And actually just being out for their own gain, which again happens a lot, especially in smaller VTuber circles. It happens a lot. So it's not really that surprising to see it among bigger VTubers. I guess it's a little different because the bigger VTubers usually know that know in person. One of those I'm not accusing, just pointing out. Yeah, exactly. And like maybe it is the case, right? With Gigas, yeah. Yeah, the whole just business line is kind of she can say it doesn't, was used in a specific sense, but regardless, even if she didn't mean it about screwing over her friends, like that is what happened. It was just business over friendship. Um, but like I don't know, like I said, it's not that surprising because like I said, you see it happen all the time among smaller VTubers. The difference is bigger VTubers know each other in person. And smaller, well, like more commonly at least, whereas smaller VTubers don't. Um, if for no other reason, the smaller VTubers can't go to like cons and stuff, right? And they don't really get a chance to like work with each other in person. Um, and also I feel like smaller VTuber, I mean, I don't know, I'd say like they're more guarded, so they're less likely to reveal personal details. But at the same time, a lot of them aren't because a lot of them do think they're making genuine friends, right? Um, so they might release more personal details, but they collab on. Yeah, yeah, the bigger ones collab on and off stream, exactly. They seem to hang out and visit each other. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's why it's a little bit different. Because like Cinder knew a lot of these people in person, and whether like it not be just like Bauer, Lily, or someone, but like literally, you know, all the other big VTubers too who are shocked and surprised by this. Like, the smaller VTubers don't really know each other that well personally. So, it's less, I guess, extreme when it happens there, but it does still happen. And, like what happens when the small VTubers grow? Because like all of the VTubers now used to be smaller creators, right? They weren't always huge creators. Well, some of them were always huge creators, but many of them were smaller creators or just smaller people online, right? There are a lot of them that knew each other from like before their VTuber days and stuff like that. And like they've interacted for a long time and they grew together. And so smaller VTubers now might one day grow to be bigger together, and then they will start seeing each other in person and stuff like that. So it's just like this is a situation potentially of like a smaller content creator kind of being fake with their friends, essentially, that just wasn't found out in the smaller stages. Or maybe they were, but they weren't, it wasn't made, there wasn't drama about it, essentially. Nothing stopped her from growing with that mindset, basically. Could be if they're open enough to share some personal details because the people they're sharing with have the same personal info concerns and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And like with like, yeah, smaller VTubers and things, and yeah, they might share more personal stuff, but again, it's because, they're being naive, because there's so many in this like smaller VTuber sphere. A lot of people will say like, "Hey, let's be friends," and like collab and stuff. And people don't always establish the difference between collab partners and friends. Um, and they think if they collab with someone that they're friends. And that's not the case with everyone. And some people will say friends, but they don't mean friends. They mean collab partners. But other people genuinely want friends. And other people say they want friends and like, they don't, you kind of get into the situation where like you want to be friends with someone, you just kind of aren't, because it's hard to force friendships like that. But then other people, will say it um manipulatingly, and they will lie and they'll be like, I'm looking for VTuber friends, and they don't really want friends. They just want to collab with people and then move on, and like collab with someone, get, some overflow from their followers into their own chats, and then, move on to the next person or something. Or collab with them only while it benefits them to like, farm for content and then potentially ditch them if, you know, whatever else happens, and because they're not actually friends. They're just using them. And but they'll say friends, and they know by saying friends they are attracting people who want something out of the relationship, right? So they know they can be a little bit abusive and manipulative because the person that they're like building this relationship with wants to be friends. And they're like, oh, well, if they want to be friends, they're going to be nice to me. I can ask them for things. I can use them for things for free. Um, and like, yeah, that's why you have to be really, really careful. See, yeah, exactly. The engagement based post. Yeah, yeah. I've seen a thing that like on Twitter, people are posting that like there's like three types of small VTuber posts that are really common, which are like, those anyone want to be friends? I'm looking for friends. And then there's the I streamed for so long and I only had 2 viewers. Like are my dreams crushed, guys? Should I give up now? and then they're just gonna get a lot of like, no, keep going, I'll follow you, like that sort of stuff, right? Um, and then I forget what the third one was, but I've definitely seen a third one recently, which is start supporting right wing stuff and immediately get canceled by the left people and get a lot of right wing MAGA supporters backing you and all of a sudden blow up big with 15,000 followers because, you're rocking the MAGA agenda and people want to support it if for no other reason than spite. Um, and yeah, there are a few of those. there there are a few of those recently. Um, People who might be directly or subtly, um, you know, uh, attracting those people, but I think it's kind of intentional. Or maybe they just are right wing themselves, and then that's how they grow. But through the cancellation process. Um, but uh, but yeah. It's yeah, it's a lot of the small VTuber posts out there, those sorts of things. Um, it's kind of a shame because like you can kind of tell so many people are in it like to grow. And you could have so many like, community things. Like I feel like I saw more like a couple years ago where it's like, like small VTuber bingo sheet, like mark which ones apply to you and things like that. More people sharing like, what take this little quiz, what thing are you or whatever. And a few more people were sharing that, more people were doing that in the small VTuber sphere like a few years ago, but they aren't now. Um, and like now it just feels like personal growth rather than like just vibing and having fun. I feel there was a lot more vibing and having fun previously, but now everyone's very like business minded basically. Saw some general expectation that Cinder would start down the now I'm a right wing grifter pipeline. Not familiar enough with her to say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think people are just saying that because of the gamer subs connection. A single thing about VTuber stuff, all you know is you're gonna interesting watch later. Yeah. I mean, be careful with what videos you watch too, of course, about it, because uh there are some people who specifically, make the drama videos and stuff that are also manipulative and they're just milking, drama for content and stuff like that. Hard to start up as a trad wife without on branding. I mean, that's true. Maybe she'll bring out that Greek Valkyrie angel. She could also just say she's a dog or something, but honestly, she'd probably rebrand. I feel like she'd probably entirely rebrand. Um, and honestly, that's what she really needs to do. She needs to take a break, come back, and start as something new, I think. Um, and just be honest about it and say like she needs a fresh start. Her brand got to her head and she was so concerned with it that now she's breaking away from it and trying, a new brand. Um, and hoping that she doesn't get so caught up into it. Like that's what she needs to do. A lot of people are saying that it'd be really awful if she does come back and start as something new, but I think that's fine. Like people need to realize that this is her career. Um and like when people are like this, they don't deserve to not have a career and just shrivel up and die, right? Like she still deserves to have a life. And she deserves to be able to come back to this career uh if she, you know, fixes the problems basically. But it would be good for her to have a fresh start, I think, especially because her brand identity featured so prominently in the problems that she had and a lot of her excuses of why she did what she did was because of concerns about her brand identity. I think she needs to start with a new brand. Um and maybe as maybe as a trad wife, I don't know. Um yeah, I don't know. I guess I could see it, but I also don't know her well enough. So she's been a streamer and content creator for years. Should behavior and deserves consequences, but not. Yeah, I don't think a lot of things like most things people do that like they're quote unquote canceled for. Like I don't think they should be career ending. Like unless it like specifically involves your career. Like if a doctor is like out there, like I don't know, you know, skipping out on medicine to black patients or something, then yes, end his freaking career. But like if it's not related to your career, I think, you should still be able to come back to your career from it. even if you do something cancelable, because like you deserve to have a job. Like you shouldn't have to die. You can grow and come back from things, but unless it again or directly involves your career. And I mean this I guess kind of did with Cinder, but um not to the point where I think she deserves to have her career, ended. Yeah, no one died. No one's yeah, it's like and honestly it's kind of she just kind of screwed over some friends and she didn't approach the business with a very ethical mindset. Um, but that's about it. Like there's worse. There's much worse. That could have happened. And it's kind of like the biggest thing is really like again, like I was saying last night, the biggest thing here is like her friends and people who knew her personally being very disappointed in her, right? And like that's one whole thing and like being very sad and shocked and surprised that she is like this. Um and that's one aspect of it. Um and that's like their own kind of grief to deal with in a way. Um, to be, you know, kind of let down by a friend like that, and to feel blindsided by a friend like that. But then for everyone else, it also hurts because it's a reminder that so many people out there are like that. Again, like this will probably reawaken a lot of the drama in other smaller VTubers who have gone through similar things, where they had friends they thought were friends in the content creation sphere who actually weren't. And like for me, I've never been betrayed like that by a friend. I have by like people I work with. But again, I work friends are different than real friends for me, right? I make a clear divide between that. So I am never and people I work with, I do not expect true friend behavior from them, right? Um my college experience taught me that. And my early career experience taught me that. And so I know very well that colleagues are colleagues and they're not your friends. And they very well might screw you over. They will act nice to your face. And do not expect them to actually be nice to you because it's just business, right? Ultimately, it's behavior common to thousands of business people and management types. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's bad, but yeah, it happens a lot. Expect people to be way more careful about working with her in future, whether artists. Yeah, well, yeah, that too. And just in general, I think a lot of people after this are going to be careful with who they work with. Um, like because they're kind of like, people everyone's just reminded that you can't trust a lot of people. And you kind of have to be really careful with uh who you um who you work with and who you be friends with, and I think um a lot of people are gonna it's just kind of like another little wake up call for that basically. Some people are disappointed that like they're kind of like a lot of opportunities for making friends are going to close up because a lot of people will put their guards up and they're not going to interact as much outside of places. People have been saying that like VTubing is already very clicky, which to a certain extent I can see to be the case. um and I don't know necessarily in the smaller VTuber sphere, but definitely in the bigger VTuber sphere, like it is kind of click based. Because like I was kind of thinking like, what's the difference between a small and big VTuber? Like, because when people say VTubers, they don't mean me, right? They don't mean me. Um, they mean bigger VTubers, but they also don't mean VTubers of a certain size, right? Because there are big VTubers. Usually, when people say VTubers, they mean like the corporates, of course, and then a few big cliques of indies, right? Are what they mean usually when they say VTubers. Um, and or maybe like several big cliques of indies. We'll expand it to that. But like they don't mean like even like the middle-sized VTubers, right? If there's a VTuber with like 200 average viewers, they probably don't mean that VTuber unless they're friends with some of the other big ones. So you've been selfish of taking over time for someone else and wasn't reciprocated. Yeah, yeah. I had people like complaining about behind my back about stuff and like I mean, kind of misrepresenting things and, just they just didn't like me and they're kind of just trying to, tear me down and make things harder for me, basically. Was that situation? I don't know, as one situation kind of, and then another situation, people were throwing blame on me when they were the ones that had done wrong and things like that. So, um, I'm kind of a easy person to target and pick on basically. So because I'm not, you know, from a professional stance, I'm not really all that like intimidating or tough seeming. So like I'm kind of easy to yeah, to blame. I'm kind of squishy as a professional. So even though I do really good work, but like again that doesn't always get recognized either because I just don't have the appearance of it. So yeah, it's and like I get that. And I don't have the right connections at work because work is very clicky. Academia is very clicky. So I'm not in the right circles. So I don't have the that power and influence that other people have at work. So, that's kind of why some of the reason why a lot of my work currently is suffering and my opportunities at work because I don't have the right I'm not in the right cliques essentially. I'm not in the right groups. So, it's kind of unfortunate, but you know, uh but yeah, but like with VTubing, yeah, people are saying that that's going to be even worse now. It's going to be even harder to like, kind of build your way up because people are going to like be very closed off or more closed off than they would have been. And again, especially the bigger VTubers, which is kind of like, you know, uh larger VTubers opening up to slightly smaller VTubers, right? And kind of expanding those circles, but people are saying they're going to do less of that now, probably. They're expecting, like, especially the people who, knew Cinder to not be as open anymore, um, and be very closed off. And so you'll be seeing like less people sort of entering the larger VTuber sphere because so much of it is done through collabs and stuff and they'll be collabing less and working with people less and stuff like that which may or may not be the case, who knows, but I know I've seen some people kind of worried about that. And just the whole idea of distrust. I saw some people say that one, they're not surprised this sort of thing happens in VTubing. They're like, I'm sure it happens in all content creation, but VTubing really appeals to this sort of person. A dishonest sort of person, a manipulative person. They're like, VTubing really, really works very well for those sorts of people. So they're like, I'm sure you actually have a lot of it in VTubing and more so than general content creation, which kind of sucks to hear that rhetoric spewed about VTubers and kind of being like, well, VTubing is perfect for bad people, so probably a lot of VTubers are bad people is, not a great argument. I also heard that they're like, yeah, well, it's sure it's probably like that in a lot of content creation, but especially in VTubing because it's the women. There are a lot of women VTubers, and this is what you get with women. It's not a VTuber issue, it's a women issue. And I really kind of hate that because like most of the victims in this story are women. So to be like, oh, well, all women are like this, you're just hurting the victims even more by claiming that women are like this. It kind of sucks. Um, and like women are not the only people who have drama, especially because it's not just Cinder, but like, her boyfriend as well. Like they're both in it, like regardless, even if Cinder's like, oh, it's all on her boyfriend or not, like he's still part of it, certainly, even if it's not all his fault. He's partly, like so to say like, oh, it's all just women, it's like, well, the problem is a guy and a girl, and most of the victims are women. So, like I don't know why you would paint women to be the problem here. Um, but yeah, so it's just kind of like I don't know. And like but to me it doesn't change anything because I'm already distrustful. So, you know. and anxious about talking to other people and stuff like that. So so you know, it just it doesn't change anything for me. I was already in that place. Um, but guy drama is just as bad. Guys participate. Yeah, it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. Like again, there's a guy and a girl at the root of this drama. Yeah, people are people. Um, and but yeah. So for me, like for me, part of this is kind of like I, it's kind of like why I vet so many, people are like, "Oh, why don't you collab, with more people and stuff?" And it's like, well, yeah, because like I make sure I vet people thoroughly. Um, and like the amount of people I would collab with are kind of thin because again, I want to make sure that I sort of find them in the wild, you know? Um, and so it's not like, so I see them for like what they're actually like as a streamer and can get a sense for who they are and their content and stuff like that. And and even just streamers I support, even if it just comes to watching streamers, right? Like I am very, very careful about, being like, do I actually like this person? I don't just immediately jump and hit the follow button. I like watch a bunch of streams, I check out all their socials, and, I might be inspired to do that from like a TikTok or something, or see a short YouTube video of a highlight from a stream and watch it or something. Or just be like, wow, I always see this person on Twitter. Let me check this out. Or maybe see them if I see them through collabing. A lot of the VTubers or the streamers I add are like collab partners with people, but they collab like dozens of times before I end up checking out their own content. So like very, very, very rarely will I like check someone out from one collab, right? Um, and usually it's I'm very, very slow and careful to like, even just follow other people. And usually I follow them on like one social and then like, slowly work up to following them on others and like it like I kind of add to the list of people I watch and support very, very slowly. So there's very few that I actually end up watching and supporting because I just kind of vet people, not just to even make sure that they're good, but just to make sure I like them, you know. Um, but uh, but yeah, so like it's mm, to me, I'm not like I'm already kind of guarded in a lot of ways, so it's not like, oh, some people might manipulate you. I'm like, yeah, I kind of expected that, like, um, but uh, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, I don't know. I've been trained that like business is business and but friends are friends, right? And you can do business with your friends. It is harder to make friends from people with business because it's harder to make friends with your colleagues because your colleagues might be lying. But it's fine to do business with your friends if they're your friends first, right? If that makes sense. And like you kind of just need to talk about the relationships, but understand that friends and business are two separate relationships. And don't assume one from the other and to like define boundaries and stuff like that. Um and like yeah, just yeah, don't just assume all your colleagues are your friends basically. And like yeah, so one of the fastest ways to have problems is to go into business with friends or family. Yeah, I mean, like, I think you can do business with friends and family. You just have to like, um, be open about things. But I think it's better to have a friend and then do business with them. Because if they're a good friend and you already have a good friendship and actually good like have open communication and a good relationship, you should be able to do business just fine. Um, but and as long as you set boundaries between the friend part and the business part and you keep an understanding and good communication, you can do it. But it's worse to have colleagues that you then become friends with, because those aren't necessarily your real friends. And that's the thing with streamers. A lot of people are colleagues. They'll collab with people, they'll play games together, but it's still all kind of under the same sort of business lens. Even if you play games off stream, right? Because it's still networking with other people in your business. And it's still kind of like a colleague situation, unless it's clearly stated that it's like, oh, this is a friend thing, and they know, right? A lot of people say friends, but they don't mean friends, right? They mean colleagues. Um, they mean establish a business relationship, but they don't mean friend. Or they mean friend, but not an actual friend. They mean work friend. They mean business friend. And but people aren't clear about it. And that's kind of like, you know, the sort of stuff is like, they're friends, but they're it's just business friends. And I think you just have to be very clear, about it. And because like you can be friends, but you just have to be clear, about things. But it is harder to go from colleagues to friends, or to make friends within a working sphere, um, than the reverse, right? I think you can do business with your friends. Um, that's perfectly fine because you already were friends, so you kind of can trust them. It'll put stress on the friendship, but you know that they genuinely like you and they're genuinely your friend, as opposed to being colleagues. You don't know if they genuinely are friends with you or not. You work for a family one time, well, get this done by next week, or the business fails and you're responsible, is terrible. Doubly so over dinner. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess with family it can be really bad, depending on like, your family situation and stuff. But there's tears of friend, yeah, old saying of a friend will help you move, a true friend will help you move a body. Yeah, my friends wouldn't even, I don't have friends who help me move, let alone move a body. Honestly, my friends are probably more likely to help me move a body than move my house. Um, and I mean, that's the thing, is because like all of my best friends, like they're my best friends. I never talk to them anymore because again, they don't do long distance friendships for some reason. Um, I don't know. They're chronically offline and they don't do long distance friendships. And they're all on the East Coast. Actually, they're not anymore. Some of them moved over to the West Coast, but I kind of already stopped keeping in regular touch with them. Like we're like friends on like Facebook, or like, other personal social medias that I never post on and they never post on, but like we still have those social medias, and like we're on there. But so I have like contact with them and stuff. And like sometimes they post, I guess, on things. I don't use them though. But yeah, they don't really do long distance friendships, and they're far away. So, that's unfortunate. But even the ones in the West Coast, they're like up in San Francisco and stuff, so they're not down here in LA, and it's too long distance for them already. They need to be in person because they're chronically offline. Um, so they don't really do a lot of internet. They're like big gamers and stuff still. They just and like they'll watch stuff online, like TV shows and YouTube series, stuff like that, but they just don't they're not into social media, right? They're like big not into social media basically. Which, I'll say is chronically offline, right? As opposed to chronically online, where it's going to be hard to be chronically online if you don't really use social media, right? Um but yeah, so they're chronically offline. And but they wouldn't, you know every time I came to visit them and I was like, hey, can someone pick me up from the airport, and they're like, no. And I'm like, please. And they're like, no, you can take the shuttle to the train and take the train to the metro and take the metro in. And I'm like, yes, but that sounds awful. Can't you pick me up? And they're like, no, no, I have work. And I'm like, can you take 2 hours off of work to pick me up? And they're like, no. Look, you're already sleeping on my couch. What more do you want? And it's like, okay. Like, sure, fine, I get it. But like, are you happy I'm visiting you? You're welcome. Didn't you miss me? And they're like, yeah, that's why you're sleeping on my couch. And it's like, okay, are we hanging out? And they're like, well, I have work to do in the evening, and then I have like a community softball game I have to go to. Well, it's not the game, but it's practice for the game. The game's in 2 days. And so, and then they're like, and then I have to go to bed early because I get up early every day to go to the gym, and so I have to do that. So I have to go to bed really early. So we won't actually be able to hang out. And it's like, oh, and they're like, yep, I'm letting you sleep on my couch while you're in town. And it's like, yeah, but like I'm in town to see you. Like I'm not in town for a different reason. So, someone's coming to visit you, meet them at the airport. Yeah, like I don't know. I just think that's nice. But I'd ask like my whole friend group, and they're all too busy to pick me up from the airport. It's like it's not even that far or hard to get to. It's honestly not that bad. Like it really isn't. For them, no, it is not a hard airport for them to get to. Like it's not, but they couldn't do it. And so, it's like okay. So eventually I stopped visiting them because, you know, I would visit them on my way home to see my family and stuff, which I kind of do less often now anyway. But also, like, it kind of wasn't even worth visiting them on my way home because, uh, they just weren't, I don't know, they weren't really into it. So, and they're like, yeah, we're still really good friends. But, they have their other friends. And because, when you only see them every couple years, you kind of, become a lower priority friend, and I get it, but like I wish they, could keep up friendships online, basically, would be nice, but they can't. So, you know, that's sad, but yeah, but that's just me and my friends. But they would never uh they probably never would have helped me move. And but they might have helped they honestly, like I said, they're more likely to help me move a body than they are to help me move. Um if they were gonna help me move, that would have been very difficult. I definitely they don't pick me up from the airport, they wouldn't have helped me move. Um, but I think they'd find, moving a body, they'd find that really fun. They'd be like, "Whoa, adventure, excitement. Yeah, I'm dropping everything for this. You kidding?" They'd love it. They'd love it. They'd eat that right up. But, so if that says anything about who my friends are, um, but, they'd all they'd, like, all drop everything for that, I'm sure. But, they'd be a little concerned, but they'd be down. They'd they'd be super into it. Um, but, yeah, picking me up for the airport though, it's like that's asking too much. They can't do that. So, it's just kinda yeah. Um, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. And of course those are my, real life friends and stuff, and, but even then, like I said, they're kind of, I don't wanna say they're not good friends, it's just like they're just not reliable. They're just not reliable friends, essentially. Um, they don't have your back, really. Um, unless like it just is super convenient for them, then they will, basically. Um, but yeah, uh, that's kind of like that's kind of what they were always like, really. So it's not like a lack of contact and not really staying in touch with them as much is really the issue. Um, unfortunately. But sometimes those are your friends. That's what that's what you end up with. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. So to me, like, uh, I would be very slow and careful to, get into friendships. Like if it were someone like Cinder, right? So, um, on the one hand, I would be very surprised because I would have been very, very slow and careful to let them in to begin with. And to really consider them as a friend. Um, and it would be, under the right circumstances and, like and to be that level of friend that I would be so blown away by what happened. Um and so I don't know, just because again, like I would it's a sort of, again, it's a work thing, work betrayal as well as a friend betrayal. And I would probably view them more as a work colleague rather than as a friend anyway. And then I would be disappointed by the betrayal, but not surprised because that happens a lot. So when you've been living elsewhere, someone travels to visit, uh, you take at least a few days off and come with plans to do things and to go do and see and provide transportation. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, they like I mean, to be fair, like they didn't, like, invite me, right? It was, like, me coming back, like, I get breaks and stuff, right? Like, it's, like, winter break, and it's, like, a few days before Christmas or, at the beginning, like, if I'm coming home during the summer at some time. So it's not like they, like, invited me for a couple days. It's like, "Hey, I'm coming home to visit my family, in the middle of July. Hey, are you free to hang out?" Right? So, like, I get that, like I mean, I usually tell them, like, I would tell them, like, a couple months ahead of time probably, because that's when I'd be booking my flights and stuff. And I would need to make sure I had places to stay, like, if I budget a few days with them. But, like, yeah, so, yeah, they kind of it was kind of hard to get their time, but, like, I get it. They just have a lot of other stuff, and you know, I kind of like imposed myself sort of. I mean, I asked, but I'm like, "Hey, I'm coming into town. Can I stay with you?" Um, and I know that's like kind of weird. A lot of people aren't like really big into having people crash on your couch and stuff, but like my group of friends, like a lot of them are really into the idea of couch surfing and things like that. They've done couch surfing before. They have other people crash like that's just the culture of my friend group, right? Is like very much like, hey, just crash at my place, type of thing. I know other people are like, just get a hotel or whatever, but they're very big on like economic traveling and or economical traveling and just like they have a couch, might as well stay. Especially because like some of the people, like I was a roommate with them, right? Like they were my roommate in college. So it's like if you go and you're like, hey, can I crash on your couch? It's like we lived together before. Not crazy to be like, hey, can I stay at your place for a night? Because we lived together in the same bedroom. So, it's like not weird because yeah, we lived together. We lived together. Um, so or like traveled with them, right? Like I might have traveled with them, and we were like, together 24/7 for like a month, right? And so like it's not crazy to be like, "Hey, can I crash at your place?" Because like remember that time we shared hotel rooms for a month? Remember the time we slept in the same bed for a month? Remember that? Can I sleep on your couch? Um, so, it's not like an outlandish idea or anything like that. So it's like, yeah, you've helped put up an uncle's friend for a few weeks and had a friend basically live in your spare room through summer back in high school. Yeah. It's like, it's fine. It's chill. Like if you have the space, like yeah, might as well let them stay. Like if they're a friend, like let them stay with you. Um and these friends like they in turn have come and crashed on my couch. Like I've had some of them come visit me um a little bit closer to like after college basically. And they needed to come for things and I was like, yeah, they're like, can I crash on your couch? And I'm like, yeah, sure. When they're like, oh, I'm interviewing at this medical school. Can I crash at your couch? Crash on your couch while, the night before my interview. And I'm like, absolutely. You're applying to local medical school. Great. I'm glad you got an interview. Yeah, you can crash on my couch. Sure. And I like, helped them get ready in the morning and everything like that and gave them, like directions on how to get there and, help them, prep and, go over their interview questions and all that, typical friend stuff. But like, it's just like but they couldn't stay very long. Like that was literally just like they didn't even want to do anything else. It was literally a trip to just for that. But well they visited me another time too, actually, and I showed them around town and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, because if I have friends coming to visit, it's like, dude, friends coming to visit. I want to spend as much time with them as possible. I never get to see them. But then like I go visit them and they're like, yeah, whatever. But that's also because like they stayed where like around our college and stuff, and I'm the one that moved away, right? So that's the kind of difference is they're all kind of together anyway. Um and so it's like me coming back and they're like, yeah, okay, I don't really care about hanging out and doing stuff because like this is the home space anyway, kind of. Compared to me, if they visit me, it's like a new place they've never been, and so they want to go and see it and stuff like that, right? Um, so and even my attitude changes because I'm like, hey guys, look at this stuff, like that is here. We can go see it and check it out and do things, and at that point I'm like a tour guide, but they don't need to play tour guide when I visit them, right? So that's like a little bit of a difference, I guess, there too. But anyway, it's time for bed. I gotta go to bed. I've been yapping for a very long time. I didn't really mean to, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I need to go. Good night. I'll be back on Tuesday. And yeah. So hopefully not too much drama happens in the meantime, but yeah, a lot of people are, saying that there are other big VTubers who have other issues too, and they're like, maybe I should drop some stuff. Who knows? But hope hopefully things don't get too crazy. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just kind of here watching. just just watching and feeling kind of bad for everyone because a lot of people are kind of feeling sad and hurt and stuff, and it kind of sucks, but I don't know. I'm like, yeah, not surprised. But anyway, I'm gonna go. You can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube, join the Discord, all that sort of stuff. And I will be back on Tuesday, either playing Blueprints or Lost Records Blue and Rage. I think one or the other, probably for Tuesday. Um, and yeah, that's it for now. Have a good night. Have a good couple days. And I'll be back on Tuesday. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Thanks everyone for chatting, lurking. Thank you, VOD watchers, all of that. Goodbye, goodbye.